If you
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
let's go.
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, and the Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. See us live from the Ingles Studio and subscribe to the channel while you are there. And you can join us in the chat each and every day. And welcome to those in the chat with us this afternoon. And it is a Football Friday here in the Sportsocracy. It's championship week in college football. Conference championships starting tonight in the Power 5. With the Pac-12 championship game tonight, USC and Utah. We'll take you through all of the games coming
and Utah
up.
Losing their best running back before this game to the transfer portal.
Yeah, not so
Or
good.
to the draft or wherever he's headed.
Right.
He's not going to be playing in this game, which should probably tell you where I'm headed.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy will have his picks for you coming up at the end of the program. Due to the lack of games, no reason for 3 separate banger installations. So we'll just have the overall picks at the end of the show. And, of course, we'll pick all the games in the NFL. Playing Beat the Chief. Asheville Police Chief Zack not going to be able to join us today.
T's and P's for Chief Zack.
Unfortunately, it appears that he's down in his back and is a little laid up right now. So we have his picks, though, and we will play the game as Jeremy and the Chief continue to try to chase down the leader for the season.
We got a lot of disagreement this week, too.
We do. We got a lot of disagreements. So, anyway, let's open it up, as always, with the opening drive. Opening drive always brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Don't forget, you can go check them out at 629 Brevard Road and mention our name, mention the Sportsocracy when you go in and you're conducting your transaction, because they'll give you a $250 bonus on top of your trade-in value.
I am currently in a brand new Rogue that, with the insane amount of things we have had going on this week, I'm not sure how I would have done it without it. I was in a little car. Now I'm in an SUV. Thanks to the guys at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, and it makes life much easier when you actually have room.
It does indeed.
Which, before I had a Nissan, I did not.
Thursday night football last night. The Buffalo Bills beat the New England Patriots. We're going to break that down in just a little bit. Of course, as I said, we're going to pick all of the NFL games coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll have Jones Angel, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, joining us at 4 o'clock. A special Tar Heel time since we did not have a show yesterday. And we'll talk about, obviously, the ACC championship game coming up tomorrow night. And what is going on with the basketball team. This time's not too good for Hubert Davis and his guys there in Chapel Hill at the moment. Falling 3 games in a row now?
Yes.
4 games in a row?
3.
Jeez. It's not good. We'll talk to Jones Angel about that coming up later on in the program, and all of your breakdowns of the conference championship games in college football. Now, Thursday night football last night, nobody's surprised, right? Buffalo Bills get the win pretty comfortably over the New England Patriots.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say at this point. That Buffalo team, if they don't beat themselves, nobody else is beating them.
Mm-hmm.
No Von Miller, that doesn't matter. All over Mac Jones. I mean, what am I supposed to do here? Who's shocked? Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. But that wasn't my takeaway. I knew that part was coming.
What was your takeaway?
New England's not very good.
No. I feel like we knew this.
well, we knew this. A lot of people did not know this. And I've heard this narrative that, well, Tom could come back in the offseason.
No.
Tom's not saving you.
No.
Tom's not saving you. This is over. If you really look at New England right now, this is done. They're the only team in the AFC that I don't feel like I have a great grasp on because there is good, and then there are nights like last night. What do you actually do well?
I mean, they run the ball pretty well.
Sometimes. It's you were about to say most of the time. It is not most of the time.
I was going to say most of the time. You're right, but yeah.
It's sometimes. Every once in a while, you don't look completely listless. And other than 2 wins against the Jets, you beat bad teams. Congratulations. And Mac Jones says bad words on television.
Do you buy it? Do you buy his explanation that he was just trying to provide a spark, that wasn't directed at anybody? Because he came off the field after the offense was stalling out and said, throw the blanking ball. The quick game sucks.
Here's what I buy. He's a bad NFL quarterback.
Okay.
He's Colt McCoy, who you spent a first-round pick on. Congratulations. He is the definition of average. He completes a lot of passes. And he has one of the lowest depths of target of any quarterback in the NFL. He is a 1-to-1 touchdown to interception guy, and he gets sacked a lot.
Immediately, everybody wanted to make this out to be, oh, see, this is all because we have defensive guys calling the plays, which I'm not disagreeing with. I think that
doesn't help.
I think it's stupid as well that Pat Matricia and Joe Judge are running this offense as, defensive guys. But
it also doesn't help that you have absolutely nothing that scares anyone.
No,
what player on that team are you legitimately worried about?
I mean, you have to be worried about Ramondre.
Do you? Do you really?
But he's not an elite running back. He's not like a Derrick Henry or,
He's Derrick Henry if you bought Derrick Henry on Wish. I mean, there's just not much to it.
He's not a play creator. Like, he's going to eat up yards. He'll get whatever's blocked for him, but he's not going to be that dynamic playmaker that you're like, oh, God, we really got to focus. Like, he's not a Saquon or any of the other top running backs that you have to actually game plan against.
It's just this team now is the definition of Bill Belichick. It is very dull. It is very bland, and there's not much to it.
Yep.
And if you're a Patriot fan, you better be the biggest Minnesota Viking fans on the planet. Because if the Jets manage to beat Minnesota, your season is night-night. You fall 2 games behind this team with what you have left, you're done. Chargers, looking at you too. And there are a lot of people that seem to think they're going to lose this weekend.
Really?
Might be one of them sitting over here.
Oh, my gosh. We'll get more into that when we make the picks for the upcoming week. But, I still feel, watching that game last night, I still feel like there are obviously occasions where Josh Allen can make mistakes. And I get that was just a completely great play by Josh Uche, forcing the ball out on the turnover. But I mean, that's the kind of thing that we continue to see week in and week out. You keep having these turnover-worthy plays, you're obviously going to make it harder on yourself to win. Now, they're good enough. Obviously, they're good enough to mitigate that in most scenarios. But it is troubling to me to continue to see it week in and week out.
I'm not sure I care. I'm just not sure I care. I mean, at this point, you're 9-3. You lead the NFL in turnovers. Or you're the second or lead the league. I can't remember which one. How much worse is it going to be? It's obviously not burning you that often. So is it unsettling? Yes, but I'm getting to the point of people make entirely too much about this.
We have to.
Last night, was that game in doubt for 1 second?
No.
Never. It was never in doubt. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even think the number was in doubt. I never even feared Buffalo wouldn't cover last night.
But that's where you have to be critical. You have to look for, or at least I do, I have to look for the holes in every team. And that's the one that I keep coming back to with Buffalo. It's the one thing that I think can kill them come playoff time. I mean, obviously, we know they're one of the best teams in the league. They're going to win a whole bunch of games.
And I think it's a grossly overrated thing that people say. And here's why.
Mm-hmm.
Name me the teams I'll go in the NFL, that can contend with you offensively. This is a team that beat a playoff contender savagely, averaging 3.5 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen was efficient. Had a couple high-level throws. Other than that, he was very bland.
Mm-hmm.
What other offenses can contend with that?
And you got Kansas City.
Okay.
You got Cincinnati.
Okay.
Miami.
Okay.
I'm forgetting somebody. Aren't I?
Not for me.
Okay.
Now, of the three teams you just said, which of them can play dead in the Western defensively? End of message. Repeat the line.
Right. I was going to say the Chiefs, kind of. The Bengals sometimes.
Stop.
What? They sometimes play good defense.
Give me an example of it.
Play
good high-level defense where they can get after quarterbacks. Where they can stop a good offense. Please say that Derrick Henry thing with Cincinnati. Where they're missing their center, A.
Mm-hmm.
B, they got behind. It's not a great offense. I just look at Buffalo and give this feels like one of those years where we were right from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best team in the league. Is it always the most palatable thing to watch? No. It's not going to be Pat Mahomes track meet football. That's not how this team wins.
It's good to see James Cook go over 100 yards.
That was bizarre to me. But did it not strike you as strange?
Why?
Because they scream from the rooftops how much they believe in Devin Singletary. And, he's the guy. He's the clear RB1. Except maybe he's not.
No, I think he is. I don't remember who said it. It might have been like Tom Pelissero or something. But somebody said that they can fully see the path where this is going to be like Dallas, where James Cook will play the Tony Pollard role, and Devin Singletary will play the Ezekiel Elliott role.
Whereas, you mean one should get the ball way more than they do, and the other should be, I don't know,
and you're just
standing on the sideline?
But you're using the more explosive guy as the change of pace back. You'll give the bulk of the carries to the guy between the tackles, which will be Devin, and then James will be the Tony Pollard role, the guy, the home run hitter, the guy that can make the big play. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But it's good to finally see him have like his breakout game of his rookie season. I told you at the beginning of the season that I thought that it was going to be a point. I thought it would be super early in the season, but there would be a point where James Cook would take over as the playmaker in that backfield. And maybe we're seeing it. Or maybe New England's just that bad. Yeah, or maybe New England's just that bad. Or at least was that bad last night.
I would lean to this as a one-off. That New England defense is good in the back four. There's a myth that the defense is really good. It's not. The front seven is Matthew Judon and virtually nothing else. And they're slow. So you get somebody like James Cook that can get out in the flat and make you miss. Mm-hmm. High in speed, I could see this being a total one-off. But if it's not, that's even an extra added playmaker that we didn't know they had.
Yep. They're going to be hell on wheels, that's for sure. The whole Mac Jones thing, yelling on the sidelines, was that his Tom Brady moment, or was that a Tom Brady-esque moment of him trying to spur on his teammates rather than yelling at a coach?
No,
I don't know.
I know what I saw. After the break, I'll tell you what that is.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and losing 90 pounds in 1 year is something that you can do with the PhD weight loss program. PhD helped me change my life, turn it all around in just 1 year, and now's the time to make your plan for the upcoming year. You got weight loss on your mind? Maybe you should go to myphdweightloss.com.
I did not have copious amount of weight to lose. I had always just been a little husky. Those fun buzzwords that we use for people that are just a little doughy. just under a year on this plan, I'm back to my high school weight. All of my knee pain, back pain is gone, and I'm sleeping like a baby, and it's thanks to the planning program of PhD Weight Loss.
They will give you the plan, give you the steps for success. All you got to do is follow it. It's very easy, very convenient. You have no excuse not to check them out at myphdweightloss.com. It's myphdweightloss.com.
Christmas, the season of giving. At Ingles, we know that nothing brings a family together quite like the holidays. And nothing brings a smile to our faces quite like sharing that perfect gift. This Christmas, let's give what's in our hearts, thoughtfully and cheerfully. Merry Christmas from Ingles. All the ingredients for family.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Are you sick and tired of living with that constant pain in your knees and back? You know joint pain doesn't just keep you from doing what you love. It affects your job, your relationships, even simple things like getting dressed. It's time to call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses advanced regenerative medicine to restore and repair damaged joint tissue, giving you your life back. Hips, shoulders, elbows, they can all be treated with natural biologics from your own body. Powerful healing agents, highly concentrated. If you're tired of steroid shots that don't work, or if you're trying to avoid surgery, call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation. Learn about these exciting new cutting-edge treatments for pain caused by arthritis or injury. No drugs, no pain meds, no downtime. This is an all-natural treatment that can get you lasting relief. People here are raving about the results. Call now. Appointments are available for this coming week. QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517 with locations in Asheville and in Greenville. Again, that's 828-333-9517.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's BABBEL.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. Thursday night football. Bills beat the Patriots 24-10, improving to 9-3 on the season. Mac Jones had a little blow up on the sidelines where he was screaming about the game plan. He didn't like the fact that they were keeping everything short. They weren't taking deeper chunk plays down the field.
Of course they're not, because you can't do that. And you have no one that threatens anyone else. But Tyquan Thornton. Oh, you mean that guy that runs really fast and can't do anything else? Oh, yeah, tremendous.
But Marcus
great
Jones,
value.
Marcus Jones
Yeah,
making
you're
his
using a
offensive
corner
debut.
as a wide receiver. That should tell you everything you need to know. And you know what I saw from Mac Jones? There's been a lot made of this little blow up on the sideline. Mm-hmm. He sees that his time is drawing nigh. I feel like New England has to go to Bailey Zappe. You have to. because you were in a position where you could make the playoffs. And the back end of your schedule, you got 2 games in a row here against teams that are not very good defensively. Arizona Cardinals, Las Vegas Raiders. Do you know what you end with? Cincinnati, Miami, Buffalo. Good luck. Good luck. But you could have a 5-game tryout here for Bailey Zapp. But I know what Mac Jones is. I've known what Mac Jones was since the second he came in this league. I say it and people go, oh, you're just a Jet fan. You're a homer. No, he's a limited, mediocre quarterback that you took in the first round. I've gone back and looked at Spark scores on every quarterback that's been drafted in the last 20 years. Do you know how many of them were less athletic than Mac Jones? 4.
Wow.
And that's not in the first round. That's period.
That's overall.
Overall. There's just not much to him. And I feel like Bill got locked into I can do this I can turn him into Tom Brady, where he's just captain check down, never turns the ball over, except here's the problem. He turns the ball over a lot for a guy that does that. If that's who you're planning on playing, that guy can never turn the ball over. I mean, I'm talking 5, 6, 7 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio. That's not who Mac Jones is. He has regressed in a year and a half. And I'm not huge on tap out on a first-round pick. I'm also not huge on keep making the same mistake over and over and over and over and over again. If you're a high-level receiver in this league, do you want to play New England?
No.
You have 2 defensive coaches calling the plays and running the shots of the offense. A quarterback that is as limited as any in the NFL. What's the draw? But where is the allure here? And if you draft a receiver in the first round, does that fix the offense? No. It's still a lot of Jacoby Myers, who's a fine player. He doesn't really scare me. Now you look around this division and go, one of these things is not like the others. Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis. Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Isaiah McKenzie. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki. Tyquan Thornton, Devontae Parker, Jacoby Myers. Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith.
Right. You need to have weapons, especially if you're going to have a mediocre quarterback. The problem is if you have a mediocre quarterback, you're not going to be able to attract the players to come and play with you. And I don't think there's any offensive player out there banging down the door to play for Bill Belichick. They did that for Tom. They didn't do that for Bill. They wanted to be a part of the system with Tom.
And this is a microcosm of the reason that Patriot coaches leave this team and crash into the ocean. It's fine to be a jerk when you're the prettiest guy at the bar. Bill's not. At this point, you're the guy that – has he showered in the last couple of days? I think he's wearing a hoodie with stains on it. So I don't think you are who you think you are.
Kind of has that after gym smell to him.
There's just not a lot attractive about this.
Right. I completely
agree. And now my
agree.
curiosity is, why would you continue to do this? In terms of real, honest-to-God offensive output, I've seen New England do that 3 times all year. Bailey Zapp was the quarterback for 2 of them. And I can't tell you he's the solution. I can tell you definitively Mac Jones is not.
Right.
If you're fine being 7-10, 8-9, 9-8, keep doing this. Please keep doing this. As a fan of a team in this division, I'm totally fine with it. You know what? Call me a big mulleted moron and you keep doing this because you're irrelevant in this league to
But
me.
do you think Bill has that? Do you think Bill has the capability to say, this ain't working, we need to go to Bailey?
No doubt.
You think so?
No doubt. I think he wanted to do it weeks ago. And then you had that Chicago game that Bailey comes in and, look, the offense is great, and into the ocean it goes again.
Yeah. Falls flat.
I just feel like you have to commit, and if you see 5 games of Bailey Zapp and you don't have a quarterback, go get one. Go get one, because you don't have one right now. You might have one as the 2. But if you think this is going to win in the modern-day NFL, I got a bridge to sell you.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
I mean, it's one thing if you want to run and grind things out like Baltimore does. A, that's not working particularly well right now. B, they are so much more athletic and so much more threatening than you that it is comical. Tennessee, okay, let's compare Ryan Tannehill and Mac Jones, shall we? And I'm not even going to go down the path of Derrick Henry and Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre's a fine player.
He's fine.
It's just
That's what the Patriots are, though. They're fine. They're a ham sandwich. It will keep you alive. You will not get boat raced very often.
right.
You're also not going to impress me very often. It is hard to walk away from a ham sandwich, no matter how artisan it is, and go, that was a high-end meal. It was bread and meat and mayonnaise. Woo. And that's all I thought all night last night. You still do some good things on special teams. I think you have some players on defense. And then you get the ball back, and I'm not scared of anything you do. Nothing.
Yeah. And it's not even the fact that you're playing the Buffalo Bills. It's not even the fact that you're playing.
I don't care who you're playing.
Right, exactly. That's my point. You don't have to be playing one of the best defenses in the league to show your mediocrity.
For you to score at a high level, you have to be doing it against a bad defense. And for your defense to really show out, you have to be playing against a mediocre offense. That's average. Can you sneak in the playoffs as a 7? Maybe. Will you get absolutely demolished if you do? Yeah. See, New England's in that place that I've always been terrified to be. And conversations with RJ said, Belichick's won so long in New England, he has a permanent residence there until he decides to retire. I'm not disputing that in any way. But at some point, well, how long are we going to keep doing this? Bill's not going to change.
No.
Bill's not going to change. We've seen that. None of that's going to be different. He is who he is. So what is the actual path to that winning in this league as it sits right now? It was Tom. Well, you're not going to have Tom come strutting through this door. And even if he does, let's say this report is accurate that Tom's considering going back to New England or going to San Francisco. How different is Tom right now than Jimmy Garoppolo? Be really honest with yourself.
He's not.
He's not. So it's the exact same thing you're doing right now with a different name. You want to have the going away tour? More power to you. You'll be as irrelevant next year as you are this year as you were last year. Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And that's what I see out of New England.
It's the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. It's time to get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Jeremy, you're the draft nerd at ESPN Draft Nerd on Twitter. And does the NFL need to change? Does the NFL need to change the draft? Because Sean Payton apparently believes it does.
Oh, good Lord.
Sean Payton.
I already hate where this headed, and I haven't even heard the story yet.
Sean Payton, he came out this week and said that he believes that in the very near future, maybe even next year, the NFL will go to a lottery system.
Shut up,
for
Sean
the
Payton.
draft.
This comes up about every 3 or 4 years.
It does.
Why does the NFL not do, because in the NBA, one player can completely change your franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the top 3 picks in last year's draft. Did Aiden Hutchinson change the Detroit Lions?
No.
No. Trayvon Walker changed the Jacksonville Jaguars?
No.
No. Now, if there's a quarterback up there, then that could.
And that exactly is Sean Payton's point, because next year in the not the 2023 draft, but in the 2024 draft, he thinks Caleb Williams is that dude. He thinks Caleb Williams is the guy that is going to have the most, I guess, tank talk in the NFL. Says he could see a path where we get to week 14 of next season and it becomes so obvious that teams at the bottom are tanking for the number 1 pick to get Caleb Williams, that is when the league could step in and go, yep, lottery system.
Mm-hmm. We said that with Andrew Luck, too.
We did.
Here's what Sean Payton doesn't seem to understand. The NFL doesn't care. We don't care that teams tank. Dirty little secret. We don't care. The NBA does. I don't know why. I've never figured out why. The best young college players should go to the worst teams. That's how you level out the system. I think the lottery's stupid in the NBA. I always have. And doing it in the NFL would be just completely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. He says there are at least 2 occasions where he knows tanking has taken place. And the first example was 2014, when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers needed to lose their regular season finale to clinch the number 1 overall pick, but they couldn't even lose outright because they were winning 20-7 at halftime against the New Orleans Saints. He said in the second half, the Buccaneers benched nearly all of their starters, and the Saints came back to win the game 23-20. So he believes that they literally took the foot off the gas to get Jameis Winston. And how did that work out?
There you go.
Yay. Is there a great benefit to tanking?
Yes. And there should be. That's how the system works. I don't know how many people have been told that life is fair too many times we got to have a lottery system. That's stupid. It's an absolutely ridiculous thought from a guy that I find to be very intelligent.
Who knows? Who knows?
This is also I've gotten a little breaking news on Sean Payton.
Yep.
Do you know how much he wants a year to come back and coach?
No. 15.
Double it. It's $30 million.
$30 million a year?
Well, he turned down 25 from Miami. Miami offered him $25 million.
Jeebus.
And that wasn't enough to get him to go, yes, let's do that.
Then I'm not sure you're going to have a place.
Oh, he'll have a place. It just won't be the 2 we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Chargers, who are notoriously cheap. They're not going to be the ones to pony up that kind of money. That has Jerry Jones a year from now written all over it.
Yes, it does.
Speaking of Sean Payton, his former quarterback trended on Twitter all day yesterday because he got struck by lightning. Except he didn't.
Or did he?
Except he didn't. Drew Brees was trending on Twitter yesterday after a video showed up of him in a remote location recording a commercial spot for PointsBet. Well, in it, the camera pans away. You see a lightning strike where Drew Brees was standing. And then everything, Drew Brees got struck by lightning. It was all a stupid promotion. He shows up in an ambulance on Twitter, and PointsBet says, time to let you in on a little fun we've had with Drew Brees. He's alive and well and buzzing for a weekend of free bets. Keep your eyes on our channels all weekend for bet drops for U.S. versus Netherlands, college football, and the NFL. Tell me you're a low-level, irrelevant sports book without telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to fake that Drew Brees got struck by lightning? Stop. Get out of here.
Filming on location in Venezuela where there are over 300 lightning strikes per day.
Ugh. I mean, look, I get marketing things, and yes, PointsBet got exactly what they wanted. The only problem is that people like me rolled their eyes in the back of their head and went, remind me to never, ever sign up with this institution.
Right.
No publicity is bad publicity. That's not always true.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, it's been a cool start to December here all across the South. That big front that marched across earlier this week has pushed all the way out into the Atlantic and well away from us. Our low tonight, upper 20s with elevation, 30 degrees in the valley, 53 on Friday. Some light showers top of the weekend. Saturday, just a tenth to a quarter of an inch of rain Saturday, high 59 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has you covered for all your custom printing, just in time for the holidays. And right now at Staples, you can save 60% on custom holiday cards and invitations. In-store and online offer ends 12/3. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Explore more at Staples, the working and learning store.
Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact. Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
The college... Excuse me. The college season coming to an end as we got the conference championship games this weekend. It's already underway. We already have a championship game being played as we speak.
Oh, this is going to be stupid. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be stupid.
Currently, Buffalo leads Akron 17-16.
The MAC is playing their championship game at 4 o'clock on a Friday?
Yep. It's in the third quarter, so they kicked off
at 2
this afternoon. We'll have 7:30.
Oh, that's a makeup game.
Oh, that's a makeup game.
I was about to say Akron's awful. So yeah, they had to move. I think they had to move that game because of that snowstorm in Buffalo.
Okay. All right. So they're playing it early kickoff to get out of the way of the conference championship games. As we will
you about made me panic for a second of how in the world did I pick somebody to win the MAC championship game that's not in it? Oh, those two teams are awful.
Oh, wait. UTSA, North Texas, 7:30 tonight. 8 o'clock tonight, Utah and USC. Pac-12 championship game, college football playoff implications on the line as USC's ranked number 4 in the country. They lost to Utah earlier this season in a game that was a shootout. Is it going to happen again?
No.
You think enough has changed? Caleb Williams has taken such a step forward as the Heisman favorite that USC will dominate this game? Is that your thought?
Oh, I think they're going to smoke Utah. I mean, smoke them. Utah's their number one running back has already just said, nope, I'm out. I'm going to the NFL draft, of which he will be a 6th-round pick at absolute best.
Yeesh.
And if you look back to that game, outside of Cam Rising, they really didn't do anything all that well.
Mm-hmm.
So I struggle to see how Utah is winning this. Also, you have to look at what does it mean for each individual team. Utah could go back and play in the Rose Bowl. Woo. Be another barn burner with Ohio State.
It's kind of a pride statement. It's a pride statement for Utah.
And it tells me everything that your running back tapped out 2 weeks before you played in this game.
We get to play spoiler to USC, who wants to go to the college football playoff. We can go to the Rose Bowl. We can be the first back-to-back champion in the Pac-12 since, a decade ago when Stanford did it. How weird does that sound? Stanford is the last team to go back-to-back in Pac-12 football championships.
And since then, they've barely won back-to-back games.
True. Very true. But USC, no doubt, is on the hot streak. And
USC has one of the most prolific offenses in America.
There's no doubt.
And this is also going to be Caleb Williams' coronation for the Heisman. Because he's going to win this in a walk. I just don't see a path that Utah beats them. It's hard to beat a team twice in the same season. USC is momentum-wise in an exponentially better spot than Utah is. And this will be a nice little flappetizer to your conference championship weekend.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of offense or a whole lot of defense played in that last game.
Over 1,000 total yards.
1,100 yards. 1,100 yards.
Almost 60 first downs.
Yeah. So it could be a very entertaining Pac-12 championship game tonight, but as you heard Jeremy say, he fully expects USC to walk over Utah in this one. I think it's probably a close game, but USC will come out the victor. They need to have a blowout. I think it would help their case.
Help what? What exactly does that help? If you lose, you're out, period.
Well, I get it, but the narrative against them going into the playoff is what I mean.
Oh, I don't care about the narrative.
I know you don't care about that, but we do.
All right, so they beat Utah by 60. Is that going to make you think they can hang with Georgia?
More than I believe they can now.
It's not going to change a squat to me. Utah's not very good. The Pac-12's not very good. The line won't change a point. The USC will be a heavy dog to Georgia.
Yes.
And, 20? Might be more than that.
So?
Might be more than that. Well, put it this way. LSU's ahead of USC in a lot of the Vegas polls, or were before they lost a couple games. It's 17.5. Big game, playoff game. Yeah,
on the road.
It could be 20.
On the road in Atlanta.
That doesn't really matter because of how they allocate tickets. But, it certainly doesn't help. Georgia would outdraw USC if they played it on the moon. So,
true.
Nothing that happens tonight is going to change my mind.
Yep. Again, Jeremy will have his picks coming up for you at the end of the program today. Just lumping all the conference championship weekend picks into one segment. 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
This is the actual legitimate game.
The Big 12 championship game. Number 3 TCU. Number 10 Kansas State. Can the Hypnotoads survive for another game?
Vegas has a very strong lean in this game, and so do I. Now, if you want to hear what that is, wait till the end of the show. TCU has flirted with disaster for a really long time, and I'm not sure that Kansas State's not better than they are. Chris Kleiman is the best coach in college, major D1 college football that no one talks about. And now this little spunky Wildcat team has wound up at number 10. Now, yes, you have lost a few games that don't make a whole lot of sense. Losing to Texas, looking at that now, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Until you realize that game and when they lost to TCU, they're balancing quarterbacks. If you remember, there was an injury at quarterback. Well, they would play Adrian Martinez, they would play Taylor Martinez.
Will Howard. Isn't that the name of the backup?
Yes.
Yeah.
I really like this Kansas State team.
And you think they can pull
I'm
out the
also
shocker.
very much here for the pandalarium of, okay, but what happens then?
Ohio State.
I think that's what it would have to be.
Yeah, the default answer there is Ohio State. Ohio State, who was in the top 4, and their only loss of the season was to the number 2 team in the country.
And has never looked impressive. This
Ohio
is the reason.
State?
No. Name me the game where you walked away and went, Ohio State could win a national title. When Notre Dame hung with them for 3 quarters, did you walk away from that going, title team right there? That's who's taking down Georgia.
No.
By the way, Jackson Smith and Jigba, what do we have to? We have to like dip him in holy water or something to get him back on a football field. It was a weird story after 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Now we're at the point of what is wrong with you exactly? I get asked that question a lot.
I can imagine. Ohio State, one of the best offenses in the country.
At times.
They beat up on bad teams in the Big Ten.
That would be hard for me to do. It would be hard for me to put Ohio State in if it's close. Now, if TCU gets blown out, now then that's all I
State. So if it's like
Kansas State beats TCU on a last-second field goal,
right?
I would have to sit there and stare at those teams for quite some time.
I feel like Ohio State would get in.
I do too. I'm not sure that's the way it should be, but it's probably the way it would be.
I believe so. I believe Ohio State would get in at that point. Should there be more chaos beyond that, then we've really got fun discussions that are going to be had.
I will low-key say that everybody at the CFP is hoping TCU loses.
Absolutely. You don't want to
There is no matchup with TCU that is palatable.
No, you don't want to end up with Michigan and TCU. It doesn't thrill anybody. And you know Michigan's going to be able to just impose their will against TCU. And that whole, hey, we're coming back from a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter is all well and good in the Big 12, but I honestly don't see you doing that against Michigan.
I don't know.
TCU has been a fun story, and it'll continue to be a cute story if they win this game at 13-0 going into the college football playoff, and yay, we're back. The Big 12's relevant again.
No,
not so much. You're getting ready to lose Texas and Oklahoma, and the one team that you just sent to the playoff, they just got smoked.
Although you might have Deion Sanders. You might have Deion Sanders coming in with Cincinnati.
Which could be great. That could be a great story. The big one coming up on Saturday night, Saturday afternoon. You got a pretty big one, but that's a pretty foregone conclusion. The one Saturday night that you'll hear right here on ESPN Asheville. We'll talk about that one next.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
PhD weight loss has helped me lose over 90 pounds since last Thanksgiving. It's been almost a year since Jeremy and I walked into PhD weight loss in South Asheville and met with Dr. Ashley Lucas. And honestly, we thought she was crazy when she told us how much weight we could lose. I didn't think it was possible. But lo and behold, PhD has changed my life in the last year.
In spite of my love of butter and mayonnaise, I was never that big. I was just a little chunky. You don't have to be grossly overweight. I had some bad food habits. Fast food was easier, and that's what I ate. After just under a year on this program, I'm back to my high school weight, and it's all thanks to the planning program of PhD Weight Loss.
Greatest thing about it is it's easy. They give you 80% of the food that you need to have success on the program, and then all you got to do is add your salads in. It's nothing big, but you know what is big? The results that you will see from PhD Weight Loss. Go to myphdweightloss.com today. Trust me, it can change your life too.
Qatar, here we come.
Christian's travel agency has one goal.
Talk to you soon.
The world's biggest soccer tourney.
The hotel is 7 miles from the stadium. Are you serious? Did you email the transportation company?
Now he needs an Arabic interpreter on his roster.
I don't speak it either.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do.
You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, my name is Jackie, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Peppermint Chip Milkshake is the whipped cream and the cherry on top. It's like a little bow on top of this great present of peppermint chip goodness. It tastes like the holidays.
Hey, my name is Chandler, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Peppermint Chip Milkshake is the little pieces of the peppermint that you get. For me, no milkshake is topping the Peppermint Chip Milkshake.
Order a Chick-fil-A Peppermint Chip Milkshake on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
I just found someone the perfect gift. And when my friend asked where they could get it, I said only at Kohl's. I've been gift shopping there and getting Kohl's Cash every day while saving on must-haves like sweaters from Prop & Borrow and Sonoma Goods for Life starting at $19.99. Cookware from the Food Network at 20% off. And cute boots from So and LC Lauren Conrad starting at $23.99. Plus, you could take an extra 20% off or save more with the Kohl's card. So get to Kohl's now. You'll thank me later. Select styles, 20% offer until December 11th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
It's pro time because at Lowe's, it's Provember. Save big with inventory you can count on, like Flex products or DeWalt power tools starting at just $99. Plus, Lowe's MVPs members earn up to 3 times bonus points per dollar on select items. Save all Provember long. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. MVP's Pro Rewards Program terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/L/Pro Loyalty terms. Subject to change. Prices valid from 10/17/22 to 2/3/23 or until supplies last.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Conference championship weekend in college football. Yeah, it's all kicking off tonight with the Pac-12 championship game. That's the Power 5 game of the night. And then tomorrow you'll have the Big 12 starting things off at noon. Then you'll have the real MAC championship game between Toledo and Ohio.
Barn burner.
Hot.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
All the doubloons.
Coastal Carolina and Troy in the Sun Belt. 3:30 tomorrow afternoon.
At which point Jamie Chadwell's going to sail off into the sunset to Liberty, which is it's a lot more money. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Yeah, 4
got
o'clock.
much nicer facilities and a lot more money.
4 o'clock down in Atlanta. Number 1, Georgia. Number 14, LSU. Coming off the loss to Texas A&M. Georgia's a 17.5-point favorite.
Yeah, this will be worse than Brian Kelly's accent.
I like the way you said that. And tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, from Charlotte, the ACC championship game. Number 9, North Carolina. Number 23, number 9, Clemson. Number 23, North Carolina.
Hey, great, the ACC championship with a game with a team with no quarterback and a team with not much outside of their quarterback.
That's
This'll
not
be
even
fun.
kind of true. Come on.
Well, you got Josh Downs, and hey, look, Carolina's got some players. At
They
the end
do.
of the day, that defense is just brutal.
Right.
The question I have is which DJ Uiagalelei do you see? The one that we saw against South Carolina?
No.
Because he could lose to anybody.
He'll be much better than that. Or he'll look much better than that.
Well, unless he's facing the wrong direction or closes his eyes, it would be hard to be worse than he was against South Carolina.
Right.
Unless he plans on playing the second half blindfolded, I'm not sure he could be worse than he was against South Carolina.
I feel like this is going to be very close. It's going to be back and forth. It's going to be last second win
I
by
hope
Clemson.
you're right.
Last second win by Clemson.
About everything except the last thing you said.
Well, I mean, look, I want to be positive about this, but I knew last week we're sitting there watching the NC State game as we're hanging out at the family's house for second Thanksgiving. And, yeah, it was second Thanksgiving. We did all the leftovers. So, like, one part of the family ate on Thursday, the other part ate at their house, and then we brought all our leftovers together for Friday to have.
So you reconvened twice?
No, this was the part of the family that didn't come over.
No, that's what I'm saying. You gather 2 times.
Yes, we did this week.
Woo. My family, that would lead to fisticuffs.
Well, we're sitting there watching the NC State game, and I knew There is no shot I'm taking this to overtime. I would not trust this defense with a short field or giving a short field to the opposition. I don't care who I'm playing. I don't care if I'm playing Georgia State. Wouldn't do it. So I don't like the prospects of a back-and-forth battle late in the game. Dabo Swinney has the ball, and Carolina's defense has to make the stop. I'm not convinced that they could do it.
Well, I mean, really, the only thing this game decides is who gets to hold this trophy for one U.S. year until it comes back to where it belongs. Baby!
The last championship any of us will ever remember.
Oh, 100%. Before the 14-year Florida State reign of ACC supremacy.
Oh, gosh. I've never worked with insufferable Florida State fan.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Me.
It was basically all of the 2000s.
You are
basically, I was that guy longer than grunge music was a thing.
Big Ten Championship closes out the action Saturday night, 8 o'clock, number 2 Michigan against Purdue. That's a 16.5-point spread, and frankly, I'll take the Wolverines to cover.
I can't agree with that yet, but you can assume that I'm going to.
Yeah. Picks coming up at the end of the show. Coming up after the Sports Center update, it'll be Tar Heel time with Jones Angels. We'll talk about that ACC championship game and also what's going on with the Heels on the hardwood.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, it's been a cool start to December here all across the South. That big front that marched across earlier this week has pushed all the way out into the Atlantic and well away from us. Our low tonight, upper 20s with elevation, 30 degrees in the valley, 53 on Friday. Some light showers top of the weekend. Saturday, just a tenth to a quarter of an inch of rain Saturday, high 59 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer. When temperatures drop, COVID-19 cases may rise. So if you test positive and are at high risk, act fast. Even if your symptoms feel mild, ask your provider if an authorized oral treatment could be right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, my name is Jackie, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A peppermint chip milkshake is the whipped cream and the cherry on top. It's like a little bow on top of this great present of peppermint chip goodness. It tastes like the holidays.
Hey, my name is Chandler, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A peppermint chip milkshake is the little pieces of the peppermint that you get. For me, no milkshake is topping the peppermint chip milkshake.
Order a Chick-fil-A peppermint chip milkshake on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Celebrate comeback season with Mucinex Fast Max Cold and Flu All-in-One. Its maximum strength formula tackles up to 9 cold and flu symptoms. Try Mucinex All-in-One and get $5 cash back to celebrate your comeback. Visit FastMaxCashback.com to learn more. Use as directed.
Your passion is NFL football. Your access is total. Every weekday, NFL Total Access hits you with uncut.
He can't be stopped.
Uncensored.
I love that.
And unapologetic takes on all things NFL.
That's how crazy it is.
We go beyond what happened to tell you how it happened and what happens now.
Those are the facts.
On the field, inside the huddle, and under the helmet. This is NFL Total Access, the podcast. Listen weekdays on the iHeartRadio app or
from the Ingles Studios. This is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Has probably about 1 minute left to go in the group stage, and then we're on to the knockout round. Speaking of which, so too is Christian Pulisic, the United States midfielder, given the all clear after his pelvic contusion that he suffered when he scored the only goal of the match on Tuesday. That pelvic contusion led to some to speculate he got hit in a certain area. He said he didn't, but he's given the all clear against the Netherlands tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Round of 16 gets underway. Meanwhile, look, I know it's soccer, but Serbia and Switzerland don't like each other. I mean, we're close to scream and fight. It has just ended. We're all done the group stage. Switzerland wins 3-2. They, along with Brazil, will advance. Brazil lost to Cameroon, actually, earlier today. In Group G, Uruguay, they fall. They do not advance.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do.
Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400, and we're heard everywhere live or on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link, subscribe to the channel, get all the live alerts when we are here in the Ingles studio, and of course you can get into the chat with us as well. The ACC Championship game coming up tomorrow night, and you'll hear it right here on ESPN Asheville as the North Carolina Tar Heels, after 2 really tough weeks, falling into the ACC Championship game here against the Clemson Tigers, who coming off a bit of a sting themselves after losing to South Carolina. And joining us here for Tar Heel time, as he does each and every week. Didn't have a show yesterday, so I'm glad that, Jones, we could find some time in your schedule. Jones Angel, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels. How you doing, brother?
Tank, I'm doing great. Good to be with you. And, yeah, it was a tough couple weeks, certainly, for Carolina. We haven't talked, I don't think, since these 2 games occurred. And, you know, I kind of feel differently, honestly, Tank, about the 2 games. I think the Georgia Tech game, Carolina just didn't play very well. Yeah, the Tar Heels made a bunch of mistakes that they had not been making. Yeah, they struggled to score in the red zone, which had been something they've been really, really efficient at all season long. Yeah, had a touchdown call back for penalty. They had, Josh Downs drop that pass in the end zone. Drake May had a red zone turnover. I mean, these were all things that had not happened all year. And they all came together in one game. And, yeah, I think anybody who follows athletics long enough or watches it, follows one team through a season, I mean, a lot of times you'll have that game in a year where just kind of everything goes wrong. And the question is, can you fight through it? And Carolina almost did, but couldn't quite get over the hump against Georgia Tech. And so that game to me was really self-inflicted. The state game, I did not feel that way. I thought both teams competed really hard. There were times where state got the better of it and times when Carolina was getting the better of it. And it just came down to state made a play or 2 more, and Carolina missed some really important kicks. And so certainly from the rivalry aspect of it, it is disappointing for Carolina to lose the game. But I did not leave that game feeling like the Tar Heels were in some kind of free fall or there was a referendum on how Carolina was playing. The Tar Heels missed a couple really important kicks. And so for Carolina, the season in total, very positive. Obviously, the last couple of weeks have not been. But now you get the opportunity to really have, not a fresh start. It's too late to have a fresh start. But I do think you have a reset here where now your focus is clearly on this game, this week. That's all there is. Then you'll find out your bowl game, and then you'll have several weeks to lead up into that. And so for Carolina, I do think it's very much focusing on the moment and focusing on what is a really good opponent, of course, in Clemson.
What did you think, and what have you gathered as the reaction to the end of game decision to tie it and go to overtime rather than go for 2?
Yeah, to me, Tank, that's one of those where if you make a decision like that where there are, some clear choices and then you end up losing, then everybody asks why you made that decision. But had Carolina won in overtime, I don't think anybody asked why you made that decision. That's just one of those things in sports. When you make that choice and it doesn't go right, then you're going to get questioned for it. I think if you are looking at it in hindsight, I do think for Carolina, going to the overtime period, the biggest deficit that Carolina had is that State, and this isn't something, I'm not trying to talk poorly about Noah Burnett, the kicker for Carolina, but State has a better kicker than the Tar Heels do. That's just a fact. Christopher Dunn is probably going to win the Groza Award as the top kicker in the nation. And kickers are a big part of overtime because, of course, you have that limited time or the limited yardage and downs to try and score. And so I do think when you look at it through that lens, you don't have as good a kicker, and 2-point plays are such a big deal in overtime because you have to go for two if you score a touchdown in the second overtime. And then once you get to the third overtime, you have to go for two. That's it, just 2-point plays.
Right.
So those are the rules now. So I think in hindsight, looking at it in that way, if you're Carolina, you very defensively could have said, look, 2-point plays could likely come into a key factor here. Their kicker is better than our kicker. Let's just go for two. They don't have a chance to match our 2-point play, and let's see what happens. Plus, you're putting the ball in the hands of your best player in Drake May, and he's got some of your other best players like Antoine Greene and Josh Downs and Elijah Greene and Bryson Nesbitt. You got all those guys around him. So I do think there is a defensible way to look at it in hindsight that you could say the Tar Heels should have gone for two. But again, had Carolina won in overtime, I don't think you and I'd be having this discussion.
Right. I know we've talked about the defense coming up with big plays at opportune times throughout the season, but it hadn't been going that way. That was one of those where I was watching the game and I was just, you need to go for two here. I don't want the short field. I don't like the way this pans out. And obviously, I mean, you're for lack of a better phrase, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't in that situation.
Well, and it was, I mean, the defense did its job in overtime. I mean, State kicked 2 field goals. So, I mean, I think that wasn't the issue. I do think if you're Carolina and you get to the point that you have forced State to kick a field goal in the second overtime and you're getting the football, you've got to go score a touchdown there. I mean, that's where you have to have your offense, which has been the strength all season long. It's got to go win it right then. Right. You are in the better position at that point. And Mac Brown even said, he said that he initially wanted to kick the field goal. State called a time, and we're talking about in the second overtime here. State called a timeout to try and ice the kicker, and Mac Brown said he thought hard about going for it at that point, about trying to just continue the drive. I think it was a 4th and 2, maybe 3 at that point in time. And so Coach Brown said he did think about it, but ultimately decided to go ahead and try and kick the field goal for what would have been, relatively easy kick, 35 yards and straight away, but obviously it didn't turn out that way.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about the Clemson game in Charlotte on Saturday night. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock will be the kickoff, and you'll hear it right here on ESPN Asheville with Jones and the rest of the crew. Clemson Tigers, to me, it's going to be the key of the offensive line protecting Drake May against those big defensive linemen and the pass rush from Clemson. How do you see it?
Yeah, I do. I think that's one of 2 keys in this game, absolutely, is Clemson's defensive front is so good. I mean, all 4 of the starters on the defensive line were named first or second team All-ACC. There's future pros up there. I mean, they're just really, really talented and good. And even when they sub, you're not getting a massive drop-off there. And so they're really good up front. You mix in the linebackers, and their front 7 is elite. And so I think Carolina's ability to compete on the line of scrimmage when the Tar Heels have the football is going to be really important. Can the Tar Heels get any kind of running attack, and can they protect Drake May? This can't be a game where Elijah Greene has 12 carries for 17 yards. That you're in trouble if that's the case if you're Carolina. And I heard Mac Brown say earlier this week, if you get a 4-yard run, you better celebrate it because that's not easy to do against these guys. So you've got to be able to at least have a threat in the run game if you're the Tar Heels, and you have to protect May. That goes without saying because you can't have him running around crazy for his life and have a good chance to score and win. So that's number one. The other, to me, Tank, is you have to make DJ Uiagalelei, you have to make him a passer. That's not to say he can't win the game passing, because he's talented enough to do so. But if he and Will Shipley are just playing that read option game all day, and they're just running down the field between the two of them, then it's going to be a long night for Carolina. You have to, if you're the Tar Heels, take away Clemson's ability to consistently run the football, make him beat you throwing. And again, he can, but your percentages as the Tar Heels get a lot better if he's trying to do that compared to when he and Shipley are just marching down the field. They're both so good in the run game that would be trouble for Carolina.
I have been really shocked that they have not made the move at quarterback, but we've had discussions over and over on this show about how do you question Dabo Swinney?
Well, I think the other part of that is, what has Cade Klubnik done to tell you that he's going to be any different? I mean, he's come in the game at times, and he looked okay, I guess, in the second half of the Syracuse game.
Good point, yeah.
But that's also where you get to the point of, obviously, Dabo Swinney, who is one of the better coaches in college football, sees these guys every single day. And I can't even remember what game it was, Tank. There was another game, maybe Notre Dame, where Klubnik came in, and it wasn't as though the world got set on fire.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's funny to me. DJ Uiagalelei is a good quarterback. I think his issue is, from everybody talking about him, is the fact that the three previous quarterbacks for Clemson were Taj Boyd, Deshaun Watson, and Trevor Lawrence. I mean,
tough acts to follow.
Those are good. Yeah, I mean, those are good quarterbacks, and you've got two of them as of this weekend that will be starting in the NFL. And Taj Boyd, who set a ton of records during his time at Clemson. So, is Clemson at the same level that they were between 2015 and 2020?
No.
No. But you know what? They were one of the best two teams in the country every single year in that stretch. So this is a relative conversation. Are they still one of the 10 best teams, or 15, 12, whatever number you want to put on it, best teams in the country? Yeah, they are. They may not be the best team or the second best team, but that's not easy to do. Neither is Alabama. And so that's not easy to do every single season. And the run that Clemson went on, and again, that mid-2000, 2015, 2020, and I'm that year might need to be adjusted a year or two, but in that range was incredible. It's the best stretch they've ever had. And so it's not unusual to take a little bit of a step back, but I think to say that Uiagalelei is no good is crazy. He just may not be quite as good as Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, but guess what? Most guys aren't.
This is all true. 8 o'clock tomorrow night in Charlotte. Tar Heels versus the Tigers. What is the latest, or is there any news about the health of the cornerbacks for Carolina?
Yeah, it's just going to be a game-time decision, Tank, for Carolina. It's one that they've continued to watch. And, that is something that the Tar Heels, a lot of times the teams have a bunch of injuries. They don't mind telling you about it all year. I don't think Carolina has done that, but I do think it is worth noting that their defense has been hit pretty hard. I mean, you're down 3 starters on the defensive line right now if you're Carolina. Now you're down, at the end of that state game, multiple starters in the secondary. I do not know if they will be back for this game, but even if they are, I think it's probably fair to say that they're not 100%. So for Carolina, they have been dealing with a lot of injuries. I thought Marcus Allen and Legend Cavazos and Will Hardy, some of those reserves who played in the secondary, stepped up and did a nice job in the game against State. But let's just say that those guys are out. And again, I do not know that. They are very much a game-time decision. But if those guys are out, all of a sudden you're 6 or 7 starters down if you're the Tar Heels from who you started the season with on defense. So it has not been easy for Carolina in any way on that side of the ball all year long.
No, it has not, but it'll all come to a head. Coming up tomorrow night, be sure to tune in right here on ESPN Asheville for the ACC championship game. Saturday was a little rough as we had the football team and the basketball team losing in what felt like a span of about 5 seconds. As you had, obviously, the Tar Heels didn't have a great showing in the Phil Knight Invitational, losing to Iowa State, losing to Alabama, and then losing to Indiana, third game in a row. Obviously not the number one team in the country anymore. What do we take away from this 3-game stretch, and how are we going to turn it around against Virginia Tech coming up?
Yeah, it's a great question. And to me, from the start of the season, Tank, the Indiana game itself was going to be the hardest non-conference game the Tar Heels had. The fact that it was on the road, the fact that Indiana's good, the fact that the Tar Heels were, not even coming home after the Portland event. They were going straight from Portland to Indiana. That game was always going to be a challenge. The issue for Carolina was that the Tar Heels made that game so much more important by losing those games in Portland. And the frustrating part about those losses were they were both games I think that Carolina probably should have won. I did not see the Iowa State game because it was occurring at the same time as the football game, and I haven't had time to go back and watch it just with everything else going on. But if Carolina's up by 7 points with 4 minutes left or right around there, that's a game you've got to win. And then the Alabama game, Carolina was up 8 midway second half, had multiple chances through all the overtimes for better late-game execution that could have won the game, and they just didn't. And so the record right now obviously is not where Carolina wants it. As we've talked about multiple times, it is such a long season that, in my opinion, there's no need for like a long-term concern or panic right now. But Carolina needs to win some games. They've got to get this turned around. And to me, the biggest issue right now is Carolina's offense just doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very free-flowing. I think the guard play is not been very good. There's been a ton of shots taken between the two starting guards, R.J. Davis and Caleb Love, and not a lot of them are going in. And so if you've got two guys shooting a lot and they're not going in, adjust. And so for Carolina, I think they need to – eventually some of those shots are going to go in, which is going to help, but they also need to find ways for those guys to get their own offense while also keeping the offense in total efficient by having other guys involved. And so that to me is the number one thing that Carolina has to figure out as it moves, not just through Sunday, which, I mean, Tank, this has been an absolutely brutal stretch of games. I mean, find me anybody in the country that's playing a stretch like this, where you're gone 5 straight, 4 of them against Power 5 teams, and the amount of mileage that the Tar Heels are putting in. It's an absurd stretch. And Carolina, with its poor play, has really put its back against the wall in needing a win on Sunday. And, man, there are no must-wins in December, of course, but this is a really important game for Carolina, if nothing else, just to get a little positive momentum back as you head into a difficult month of December that includes games against Georgia Tech and Michigan and Ohio State. So it's an important stretch for sure for the Heels.
It sure feels like a must-win. You're right about that. But I like what Hubert Davis said after after the loss to Indiana was. We're not really all that interested in being number one in November. We want to be number one in April, and that's when it counts. And as long as the team, as long as the team gets that message, I'm all good with it.
And Tank, I think I've said this to you before. I think it is not a surprise to me that the Tar Heels are a little sluggish at the early portion of this season. I think it's been a little more than I thought. But Carolina was told how great it was for 6 straight months. And this was a team, certainly, that is talented. But it was also a team where it didn't come all together, we all remember, until the last whatever, 6 weeks of the season, including the postseason last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was still work that needed to be done. And in this new world where there is NIL and there is a bunch of other stuff going on, I figured Carolina might be a little sluggish and might get popped early in the season. Now, again, it's been a little more dramatic than I thought, but I do think at some point it helps you get the attention of the guys who you have, that it's time to start doing things a little bit better. And the one thing that Carolina does have going from that experience last year, it's not going to give you any baskets or any rebounds or any steals this season. But what it does give you is the experience to fall back on, hey, when we played this way, this happened. There's very tangible evidence that when you do the things that Carolina was doing in the last 5 or 6 weeks of the season last year, you can beat anybody in the country. They have that. They know it from firsthand experience. And eventually, I think that message is going to get back through.
All right, Tar Heel sports this weekend on ESPN Asheville. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock kick for the ACC championship game. Tar Heels against the Clemson Tigers, and an ACC tilt on Sunday, 3 o'clock tip-off here on ESPN Asheville at Virginia Tech. Jones Angel, voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels. Always a pleasure to have you on the program with us, and we'll touch base with you next week.
Sounds good, Tank. Talk to you on Thursday.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Stop and go slow traffic still continues in Waynesville now on 40 westbound between 209 and 276. A lot of delay on 240 westbound this afternoon. We're seeing delays in Asheville from Johns Cove Road to Haywood Street, and more volume on 26 westbound between New Airport Road and Long Shoals. I'm Tom Leiter with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Dell's Cyber Monday sale starts now with up to $500 off on select XPS and Alienware PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors, plus savings on essential accessories and free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix or Ligolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
You might get wireless data everywhere, but do you have to use it all the time? If that's not really you, there's TracFone. You can get the same nationwide 5G coverage as big carriers, but you pick a plan that you need for a lot less. Unlimited talk and text plans start at $15 a month, no contract. And now get a Nokia C100 for just $39.99. TracFone, now you're in control. While supplies last, 1 month equals 30 days. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
And if you're thinking to yourself, is it weird that we're here in weird right now? Yes, it is. We're shifting things a little bit because we're getting ready to play Beat the Chief with the picks from Asheville Police Chief Zack. Unfortunately, he's not able to join us today, a little down in the back. He's bedridden at the moment, and wishing him a speedy recovery. Sure, he'll be back with us in no time, as we are, as he has said many times to us, the highlight of his week. So, unfortunately, he's missing his favorite day.
It's our favorite day, too.
It is indeed our favorite day. A Football Friday here in the Sportsocracy, at the Sportsocracy on all the social medias. Okay, so today was an interesting day for the kids at at Granger Elementary in West Valley, Colorado, Utah, where they got out of school early. It was a little scary day because there was one teacher who heard loud bangs in the hallway and called cops and said, I think there was just gunshots heard in the school. Obviously, they put anybody on alert. Problem was, it's not any type of a threat. They were actually doing a science experiment in the class next door, and the bangs were so loud that the teacher mistook them for gunshots. Called the cops. Obviously, a large police presence shows up at the elementary school. They had to explain, no. We were doing a science experiment. Everything's fine. But still, they allowed parents to come pick up their kids anyway. So half the school got out because Mr. Stevens was doing a science experiment. I feel like that's a good day for a kid. It's a hell of a Friday.
Absolutely. My story was not a great day for either of the parties involved. It's about Mark Wells. He's a 51-year-old man from Biloxi, Mississippi. And he was at a golf outing with possibly a friend. We'll say a friend, but probably not a friend after this.
Uh-oh.
An argument broke out between the two men. Allegedly, it had been happening over the entire round of golf and had become very loud at times.
Okay.
And it ended with Mr. Wells biting the nose off, OFF bit it off the victim in this story. He bit the man's nose off his face, which they did not find, by the way.
They never found the nose.
They never found it.
Somebody knows.
So he fled the scene in a Tesla, which, by the way, I love that they threw in a Tesla. Not just he fled the scene, he fled the scene in an Elon Musk Tesla.
Well, because this...
You can take that however you want to take it.
This paints the picture.
So obviously there was anger. He flees after the event. They catch him in the parking lot of a casino, of which of all the places you could run, I think that makes the least sense.
Cameras everywhere.
I think if you had said he fled to the local jail, I would have even then gone, okay, you can at least say you were trying to turn yourself in, even though you were trying to hide in plain sight. I see what you're doing. Hiding at a casino, not the best place. He was arrested and charged with felony mayhem. I did not know that was a felony until today.
Mayhem.
Booked into the Hancock County Jail, where he paid the required 10% of his $50,000 bond, walked out within the hour.
Wow.
Now, here's my question. You got out of jail for $5,000. Your $5,000 bond, we know how that works. How long do you think he faces in jail? And I'm going to forewarn you, there is a Mississippi law about this.
Oh, gosh. Is it like one of those archaic laws, like 25 years in prison?
No, it's not quite that much, but I think it's a little extravagant for biting the nose off a human. And I'm even more awestruck that you had a law about this.
Okay.
Faces up to 7 years in prison if convicted of the felony, which state law defines as a premeditated crime committed with the intent to kill, in which the suspect mutilates, disfigures, disables, or destroys someone's tongue, eye, lip, nose, or another limb of the body.
Yeah, I don't think that's a fatal attack.
That's where I'm at. I don't think you tried to kill George by biting his nose off. My question is, how did you get there? Now, I know that you're not necessarily the fighting type.
No.
Now, me, on the other hand, I've never seen one that I wanted to turn down if I had a reason to not turn it down. I've never looked at somebody and gone, I'm going to bite you. That's never
you're
been in
also a fighter. Like you're also a classically trained, or not, maybe not classically trained. Maybe I'm using that term very loosely.
Yeah, I had a hobby that I wanted to play, right. And there we go.
Right, but at one point you were trained in hand-to-hand combat.
Correct.
Now,
wanted to get better.
on the other hand, have not been in a fist fight since second grade, probably, and so yeah. There probably would come a point where, I don't know, Jeremy's really ticked off and he's coming at me all MMA style. I mean, if I can get close, I might just have to bite your face off.
That's how you end up with no teeth, too. Just throwing that out there. Do not take fighting skills from Mark Wells. I'm going to bite your nose off.
You do whatever you have to try to survive the fight.
Kevin Vick. Without a doubt, the comment of the day. He should have used Allstate. He would have been protected from mayhem. But
you're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Coming up after the break, we will start Beat the Chief minus Asheville Police Chief Zack. But he's here in spirit. He's given us his picks, picking every game in the NFL slate against the spread next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, it's been a cool start to December here all across the South. That big front that marched across earlier this week has pushed all the way out into the Atlantic and well away from us. Our low tonight, upper 20s with elevation, 30 degrees in the valley, 53 on Friday. Some light showers top of the weekend. Saturday, just a tenth to a quarter of an inch of rain Saturday, high 59 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic still stop and go in Henderson now on 26 westbound. Usual brake lights here between New Airport Road and Long Shoals. More delays in Asheville on 240 westbound. Seeing a lot of stop and go traffic between Chun's Cove and Haywood Street. And still some volume in Waynesville. Really slow now on 40 westbound between 209 and 276. I'm Tom Miter with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Mine Safety and Health Administration.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Take time, save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Education doesn't just take place in the classroom. There are many ways for children of all ages to learn about sustainability and environmental education at home. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Earth for a list of resources, activity guides, and toolkits that are educational and fun for the whole family. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at Asheville outlets as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations. Donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville outlets so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
The tank won.
But not by much.
Again. Look, hey, you keep saying you didn't mean to, and I've not meant to.
You keep winning by 1 game.
Well, that's fine. And as long as I keep winning by 1 game, I keep going up in the rankings. I now have 3 games on Jeremy for the year. Woo! I have 2 games on Asheville Police Chief David Zack. I am the only one over 500 for the contest. Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief David Zack, who is, laid up right now with a bad back. We send our thoughts and prayers out to him. Hopefully it will be a speedy recovery.
T's and P's.
Yep. And anyway, he has sent us his picks, so we will be announcing his picks as well as with our breakdowns of each and every game as we pick them against the spread here on Beat the Chief, brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Last week, I was 9-6-1 against the spread in the NFL. Jeremy, 8-7-1, and the Chief was 7-8-1. Now for the season, I'm the only one over 500 at 81-78-7. Chief is 2 games behind me. Jeremy, 3 games behind me. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not going to talk any smack because I just feel like it's getting old at this point. Week 13 games. We're going to kick them off here with the Minnesota Vikings at home against
the Jets.
The old New York Jets. They got the new quarterback, Mike White. He's a new sheriff in town, and everything's just peachy in Jeremy's world.
You didn't say his name right. Future Hall of Famer, Super Bowl MVP, Mike White, baby!
Minnesota is a 3-point favorite at home.
I didn't think about this for 2 seconds.
And I really didn't either.
Is there and look, could Minnesota win this game? Absolutely. It'd be the jettiest thing you've ever seen. That the Jets just get smoked. The Jets have been very good on the road. B, is there a team that is better laid out to beat the Minnesota Vikings than the Jets?
No.
This team is really good against the run. They have one corner that can shut down the elite receivers in the NFL. We've already seen him do it. I didn't think about this at all.
This will be the toughest test of Sauce Gardner's young career, as he will get the job of trying to maintain Justin Jefferson.
And it's highly likely you'll see a safety over the top. I don't hate Dalvin Cook this week. I just don't see this going your way.
When it comes to fantasy football, I don't like running backs against the New York Jets anyway. Didn't when they had a bad defense, because when your defense was bad last year, you still didn't give up much in a running game. Now you've got the secondary to go along with it. You got the pass rush that's just terrifying. I got Jets plus the 3.
I do too. I don't just think the Jets are going to cover this. I think they're going to win it outright.
I do too.
If you really dig into Minnesota, what have you done that's supposed to impress me so much? And that's a legitimate question.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly am I supposed to be looking at going, this team is so good? Or maybe you're in the duty water NFC and you keep getting to play just god-awful teams. Would you like to hear the list of teams that Minnesota has beaten outside of that game in Buffalo, which was very, very close, and Buffalo turned the ball over a billion times? The Patriots, who we talked about earlier, the Commanders by 3, Cardinals, Dolphins with a backup quarterback, Bears, Saints, Lions, Packers. You know what all of those teams have in common? They're all bad. This Jets team's not bad. I hate to you call me a homer all you want to, hashtag no homer, you can tag me in it all you want to. I don't think that, and this is where I probably slide into delusional fanboy, I don't think this game's even going to be close.
Yeah, see, that's where you lose me.
Name me the one-dimensional team that has beaten the Jets.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of one.
Well, I mean, I'll go into it. The 4 losses are Baltimore, Cincinnati, New England twice.
Okay, Baltimore.
Baltimore's not one-dimensional. That was when Baltimore, the week after, they hung 45 on the Miami Dolphins. I struggle to see how that's one-dimensional. One thing I have learned about Robert Saleh and this different defense that he runs, if I know what you're doing, it is really easy for me to stop you.
How do you say that Minnesota is one-dimensional? As they have,
well, we've already said they're not going to be able to run.
Well, they have.
Do you see anything coming out of Adam Thielen in this game? Who's going to get DJ Reed? Good luck with that. Slow receiver that should be
Osborne game.
Who gets Michael Carter? Throw me TJ Hawkinson. Actually, I'll be really honest with you. If they win this game, that'll be why.
Okay.
The tight end is the one place I look at this and go, that might not be something I love.
Yeah. I just don't see this as a one-dimensional team. I understand what you're saying is you're already tough against the run, so really you just got to crack down on the pass. Well, you have to concern yourself with this offense as a whole. The problem is Minnesota not great on defense.
No, the defense is not good. I've seen you play 2 legitimate teams, and you got blistered by both of them.
Right.
And one of them was in your house.
Yeah. I would look for another big Garrett Wilson game.
That's my question. Who's supposed to stop him?
Peterson.
Who's supposed to stop?
I guess.
Stop. Is there a time machine in Minnesota? Are we going to get him from 2015? Because the current one has no shot. I hope that's the solution. If I'm Minnesota, Patrick Peterson's going on Corey Davis. I'm going to double Garrett Wilson, and I'll take my chances with Elijah Moore. That's actually who I think has a ridiculously good game.
All right, you and I are on the New York Jets plus the 3. Does the Chief agree?
He does not.
Oh.
He is on the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay. All right.
I don't get it, and I'm going to be honest with you, neither does Las Vegas. 3/4 of the money's on the Jets. Smart money's on the Jets. Money line, 85% of the money's on the Jets. This is one of those times that the narrative is going to mess with you. I'm only worried legitimately about 2 defenders for Minnesota. And I saw this against Chicago. Get the ball out of your hand. That's all they're asking Mike White to do. I think Bam Knight's going to be a problem. I love him for fantasy football this week. And I think the Jets are going to win comfortably. They may unveil Minnesota. This may be the one where people legitimately look at Minnesota and go, why did we not see this before? I don't know. You played Philadelphia, you played Dallas. That's the two of the 3 good teams on your schedule. Buffalo beat themselves. If you don't believe me, go back and watch it. You were completely dead to rights twice. Yes, Justin Jefferson is phenomenal. You know who's not phenomenal? Kirk Cousins when he gets pressured. His passer rating is 30 points lower under pressure than it is in a clean pocket.
Also in a 1 o'clock game on Sunday in Atlanta, you will have the Falcons taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are a 1-point favorite. And I like them. I like Pittsburgh in this game. Atlanta has shown me very little this year by way of being a threat on offense. I get Cordero Patterson can have his moments, and Tyler Algier and Drake London's a thing. Kyle Pitts is obviously done for the season. He's having surgery on the knee, so he's no longer a threat. And Pittsburgh's that tough team, especially with TJ Watt.
TJ Watt's what changes this. That Atlanta offensive line at times has played really, really well. At other times, it's been fine. It's never just been a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
With Alex Highsmith, T.J. Watt, and I get Marcus Mariota, and it's basically a pick 'em anyway. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. This line has been really volatile, and there was some late sharp money on Atlanta, which pushed this from it was Atlanta plus the 1, and it shifted late to Atlanta minus the 1. I don't see a way Atlanta's winning this.
Oh, so now Atlanta's the favorite.
Atlanta is the favorite. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I don't see it. I don't see it. I saw a little something out of Kenny Pickett, and there's nothing in Atlanta defensively that scares me enough to sway me off of this.
All right, so you and I are going to be on Pittsburgh plus the 1.
As is Asheville Police Chief David Zack.
All right, so it's a clean sweep across the board. And yes, just like every week, last week when we agreed, did not go well.
Yeah, bad things happen when we all agree.
It did not go well. Oh, you are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll continue picking every game here on Beat the Chief, presented by Clarissa Hyatt Zack, VXP Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
All right, so we'll start with some good news. No accidents to tell you about right now on the interstates, but plenty of volume. We'll start in Waynesville on 40 westbound between 209 and 276. Stop traffic here. A lot of stop-and-go traffic in Asheville now on 240 westbound between Tunnel Road and Montford Avenue, and then more brake lights in Henderson on 26 westbound between New Airport Road and 191. I'm Tom Miner with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Mine Safety and Health Administration.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Take time, save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
Be the one.
Stepping through a tackle and stepping to the end zone. It is pouring points in Chapel Hill. Holy cow, Carolina's going to win. Right, that bell tower blue.
The Heels battle the Clemson Tigers in the ACC Championship game. Pre-game coverage starts at 7, kickoff at 8. Right here on your home for Carolina football.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
Meet Joe A,
hi,
Joe B,
hello,
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The Ingles Advantage isn't just about savings or the best quality food for your family. It's more than that. It's the advantage of being a part of a community. That's why we provide over 2 million pounds of food every year through regular donations and programs like the Ingles Giving Tree, Food for Thought, and the Ingles Fill a Backpack program. It's the right thing to do, and we know that you would do the same. Ingles, your neighbor for over 50 years.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
Welcome back into ESPN Asheville playing Beat the Chief, minus Asheville Police Chief David Zack. Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty sponsors it, and you can go to clarissasellswnc.com whether you need to sell a home or buy a home. She is the realtor for you. Chicago Bears host the Green Bay Packers on Sunday afternoon, and Green Bay's a 3.5-point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And when I said that I was on the Packers for this game, I got a big eye roll from across the table.
Uh-huh. You sure did.
Tell me.
Well, Trevor Simeon's done for the year. The oblique injury he played through last week, he gone. What does that tell you? You think they're rolling with Nathan Peterman this week?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Justin Fields is back.
Yeah, me neither. And there is a better than zero chance that Jordan Love is playing quarterback for the Go Pack Go.
You think so?
Which means that offense is going to go nowhere. Give me the Chicago Bears.
Oh, wow. It's going with the Chicago Bears. Look, I don't know. Everything that we have been told up to now is that Aaron Rodgers still has his sights set on playing this weekend.
Do you care?
I do.
Do you care?
I do. Because this, to me, is a game where Aaron Rodgers, that little spark that you've been looking for, that's where it could show up here. He takes the Bears game so personally.
For what? What does the spark show up for? You've got a 39-year-old injured quarterback with a defense that has been pretty brutal at times.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have to face Justin Fields. Look, I'm not telling you he's a good quarterback. I'm telling you this is an undisciplined defense. And you know who loves seeing undisciplined defenses? Limited quarterbacks. Wind up with your back turned to the quarterback a lot, and I love him if he plays this week. And I can't physically find a way that he's not going to.
Mm-hmm.
He's full participant in practice yesterday. I'm sure he was today. I haven't got the report yet, but with Justin, if you're telling me it's Justin Fields against Jordan Love, there are not many quarterbacks in this league that I will say Justin Fields has the advantage on.
Jordan Love's one of them.
I found one.
All right. I may regret it, but I'm taking Green Bay minus 3.5 against the Chicago Bears. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers owns the Chicago Bears. 8 games in a row they have beaten the Bears. You've been looking for some kind of spark. This is where you could find one. I mean, if we're keeping up the guys that we're not tapping out on the season, then
and I just don't buy that. I don't buy that. You now have absolutely nothing to play for, because you're not making the playoffs at 9-8, and if at least unless you play in the NFC South, and you might make it at 6-11.
Right.
I just don't see what is the legitimate incentive here. And I'll be honest with you. All right, let's say you give it everything. You're totally bought in, and we're going to turn things around this week. I'm not sure you can. With no Rashawn Gary, no Eric Stokes, Bakhtiari's not going to play. What do I have left? You go down the injuries of this Packers team, what do I have?
Mm-hmm.
I got Christian Watson and broken down Aaron Rodgers. I'm good.
How does the Chief weigh in on this game?
Asheville Police Chief David Zack is with you.
The Green Bay Packers minus
and of all the games this year that I have been on by myself, I'm probably the happiest about this one. This is another one. I didn't think about this for 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Google Justin Fields. Did he practice yesterday? Yes. Chicago Bears.
Detroit Lions host the Jacksonville Jaguars this week.
Now, this one, on the other hand, I thought about a lot.
And I feel like you have to.
I call this the David Zack Bowl. He had to pick someone. He hates picking both of these teams.
Yes.
And I'm not going to lie, I do too.
Detroit Lions at home, they've won 3 out of 4. Yes, their winning streak was snapped last week. But I don't feel like we should be surprised by that. This offense is still terrifying. We talk about all the time the young defense for Jacksonville. Did Trevor Lawrence really make a turn or a step in the right direction last week with the comeback win over the Baltimore Ravens? Can they carry it on the road? I don't like them to. I like Detroit to win this game outright. It'll be super close. I will take Detroit as a home dog.
Here's something you may not know. There are only a handful of teams that are 8-3 against the spread in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
There are only a couple more that are 7-4. The Detroit Lions are one of them. Detroit covers spreads. It's what they do. I think they're the better. What do I always ask? Who has the better quarterback?
Yep.
I think it's close. Good Trevor Lawrence is better than average Jared Goff. Bad Trevor Lawrence is worse than average Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, it's close. And I don't love Doug Peterson the way you do. And I'm at home. That's all I got.
All right.
I know one of these offenses is going to be able to score. Neither of the defenses do much for me. So I'm going Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions plus the 1. Where did the Chief go? Oh, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He couldn't bring himself to do it. He absolutely refuses to take the Detroit Lions, which is really funny to me because they are one of the best teams in the NFL at covering spreads.
Mm-hmm. Hey, when you have the rule.
I knew they were good. I didn't know they were that good. And he just refuses to break the rule.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you, if you flipped this and it was the Lions on the road, I'd probably be taking Jacksonville.
Probably.
I don't like young teams on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take one game against the Chargers, who are as inconsistent as any team in the NFL away, Jacksonville's been dreadful on the road. I think you see it here too.
There will be a streak broken in this game because neither one of the teams can win games against people from the other conference. I think Detroit's got like a 15-game losing streak against AFC teams, and Jacksonville has like a 14-game losing streak against AFC or NFC teams. So somebody's going to get the win here, and I like the Lions to do it at home. Washington, New York Giants. That'll be the game that we kick off the next hour with. Sports Center is up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, it's been a cool start to December here all across the South. That big front that marched across earlier this week has pushed all the way out into the Atlantic and well away from us. Our low tonight, upper 20s with elevation, 30 degrees in the valley, 53 on Friday. Some light showers top of the weekend. Saturday, just a tenth to a quarter of an inch of rain Saturday, high 59 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Around Asheville, we've still got some delay now on 40 westbound. This is particularly in the Waynesville area towards Haywood County. 40 westbound, very slow between 209 and 276. Still some slow traffic in Asheville now on 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. Have some more delay on 26 westbound this afternoon between New Airport Road and 191. No accidents here, but definitely a lot of congestion. I'm Tom Miter with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. This fall, there are updated COVID-19 booster shots designed to help protect against recent Omicron variants. If it's been at least 2 months since your primary series or booster, schedule your updated COVID-19 booster dose at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. Make better hiring your first New Year's resolution. Indeed's all-in-one hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates from start to finish. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Sports. I'm Kevin Winter. Championship weekend has arrived in college football. First in Power 5 championships comes tonight. Pac-12 championship in Las Vegas. Coverage on ESPN Radio begins 2 hours from now. They'll kick just a little bit after 8 Eastern this evening. Number 4, USC. Number 11, Utah. Winner is crowned Pac-12 champion. And for the Trojans, should they win, they pretty much secure a spot in the college football playoff. The rankings and the teams will be revealed on Sunday. 7 Eastern time tonight, Pac-12 championship. Doubleheader tomorrow. Split doubleheader. Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship with TCU. Trying to be undefeated. They take on Kansas State. And then the nightcap, the ACC championship. At the FIFA World Cup, group play is done. Moving on from Group H, South Korea and Portugal. Uruguay goes home. Brazil and Switzerland move out of Group G. United States takes on the Netherlands tomorrow in the knockout round. Christian Pulisic given the all-clear. U.S. and Netherlands, 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Welcome back into the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 locally on the terrestrial signal. You can take us everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, live or on demand. And just a programming note here. I understand there has been some sort of a breakdown with the system that we've been using to load the podcast to the iHeartRadio app. That is going to be fixed, I have been assured. And we will have those rolling back out on the iHeart app ASAP. Just wanted to throw that out there for anybody who's been looking for it and has been missing it. Normally, you can get us anywhere live or on demand, but apparently the last few podcasts have not been going up properly. So, just want to clear that up. It is a Football Friday here in the Ingles Studio. We are playing Beat the Chief minus Asheville Police Chief David Zack. Tank one. Because it's what I do. Just rolling up those dubs. Just eating dubs left and right like Jameis Winston.
Yeah, that's a good person to compare yourself to.
Yeah, well.
You are the Jameis Winston of picking football games. You believe in it for a while. And then it's going to let you down.
And then it'll let you down.
And then it's going to throw 30 interceptions, and you're going to go, this was not a great decision.
Well, Willie, though, because the defending champ from last year now has a 2-game lead on Asheville Police Chief David Zack and a 3-game lead on Flostradamus Jeremy Greene in picking the games against the spread in the NFL each and every week. 81, 78, and 7 is the record that everybody else is striving for here on Beat the Chief. Brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Go to clarissasellswbnc.com. And our next game, the Washington Commanders and the New York Giants. The Giants are at home, and Washington's a 2.5-point favorite. And I completely understand why. The Giants are sliding. Saquon Barkley has not been the game breaker that we've expected him to be or that he was earlier in the season for the Giants.
The Giants are killed.
Yeah, they are dead.
I mean, this is a team that I know you got burned by Kenny Golladay, but in the offseason, I feel like you're stuck with Daniel Jones. You have got to get somebody that scares anybody over the top.
Absolutely.
You watch them on film, and the way they're being defended right now looks like I'm watching tape from 1994.
But they get Daniel Bellinger back.
And?
Yay.
A guy who runs the 40 about a tenth of a second faster than I do, I don't think that's going to do what I'm looking for.
That's the sliver of hope that you're looking at in this offense.
I cannot figure out why Vegas is so slow to react to the fact that the Commanders are actually good. That's one of 3 teams in the NFL that I feel like Vegas is just so off on, and I don't care what the numbers say. The smart bettors are with me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's that difficult.
I don't either.
I have the better defense. I'm not sure that I don't have the better quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely have the better weapons.
Yes.
It's Washington.
I would agree. Defense is a little banged up for the New York Giants, and I feel like they'll be able to make some hay against that secondary. Plus, it's Antonio Gibson time. Washington minus
gracious.
2.5 for me and Jeremy. Does the Chief agree?
Tank talks more about a backup running back than any person in sports media in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Asheville Police Chief David Zack does not agree. He's going G-Men. I'm going to say this because he's not here and he doesn't have his gun
weapon
very close to him.
I was gonna say.
I don't love how this week sets up for him. Some of the disagreements that we have, I'm like, I don't see how you got there. This was the predominant one.
He's taking swings. He's taking swings
And I
because
get it.
things happen in this league every
And I
week that
get
you
it.
don't expect.
He's also, he's a wise bettor in that home teams predominantly win in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I took a lot of road teams this week.
I have as well.
You almost went clean sweep of road teams.
Almost. I've got 4 home teams that I am going to be on the side of in this contest today. And New York ain't one of them. Washington minus the 2.5. I honestly don't even think this game's going to be relatively close.
Oh, I think it'll be close. I without a doubt think it's going to be close. And I didn't look at this before. The over-under is 40. We used to do this in the original ideation of fantasy game time decisions, which you can see this Sunday live, 10 a.m. I'll set all your fantasy lineups.
Nice.
Under! The final score of this game might be 12-5. I don't look for a ton of offense.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be cold. Yep, 40 degrees with some wind, which means Washington can take an extra defender and put them in the box, and I have no fear.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jeremy and I on the Washington Commanders minus the 2.5. Chief out on his lonesome on that limb going for the Giants plus the 2.5 at home. Philadelphia Eagles, Tennessee Titans. This is the first of the huge matchups.
There are 4
of the weekend.
And how on planet Earth, in a week where we have 4 great matchups, and this is the second one because Jets-Vikings is the first one, do we have the Colts and the Cowboys and the Bucs-Saints as the primetime games?
Yeah.
Well, there's certain games protected by each network. How many do you let them protect? Each network has 2 great games. And we're going Colts in primetime again. Uh-huh.
It's that Dallas Cowboys bias.
So should every Cowboy game be in primetime? It doesn't matter who they play.
I don't know.
Because that is eye bleach, and I'm good.
Unless you want to see the Dallas Cowboys roll, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. Philadelphia Eagles minus the 4.5 at home against the Tennessee Titans, and I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of that because I don't feel like they're going to be able to distance themselves much from the Tennessee Titans. I feel like the Tennessee Titans are just a team that's they're doing their thing. They're doing their thing, and I get that Derrick Henry hasn't been great the last few games. Okay. How long are you going to play with that fire? Because there's going to come a day where he's going to have a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it could be this week because Philadelphia in the last 4 games has given up over 500 yards rushing.
But Jordan Davis could be back, and we signed Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph.
That's fine.
You want to? We're going to play a couple games here. What was the cliffhanger? The old Price is Right game with the yodeler that went up the.
Oh yeah.
How many running backs do you think I have ahead of Derrick Henry in fantasy rankings this week?
I don't know. 2.
You're too high.
1.
You want to hear it again?
Oh, he's number 1
with a bullet
over Nick Chubb against the Texans.
With a bullet. We'll get to that. Have no fear.
All right.
With a bullet. I love Derrick Henry this week, and I love the Tennessee Titans this week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one more version of cliffhanger. What percentage of the money do you think is on the Tennessee Titans?
Ooh, I'm going to go 83%, Bob.
Higher.
91%, Bob.
Higher.
98.
92. 92 on 80% of tickets. This is one of those that either Vegas knows something or they got this line horribly wrong, which is what I believe happened. I'm going the Tennessee Titans.
I don't think this should be any more than a field goal spread. Actually, I don't even think it should be a field goal spread.
Field goal's where it should be.
I think it should be closer to 2.
I think they boo-boo-kittied this spread because they would have been closer on the spread of money had this been a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
You're greatly leveraged here, and I don't understand why you do it. You go a field goal, the Tennessee Titan people are still going to be on the Titans. I feel like the public narrative would have still been on the Titans. Maybe you go 3 and a hook, but at 4.5, that's too much for me.
It's too many points. Too many points. I'm on Tennessee plus the 4.5 as well. How about Asheville Police Chief David Zack?
Asheville Police Chief David Zack. I'm going to say that right one time before the show's over.
Let's hope.
Is on the fly. Eagles fly.
Whoa.
On the path to not covering.
Lots of disagreement for Asheville Police Chief David Zack.
He sent me his picks earlier, and I went, I don't think we could have been any more different if we tried. And we did not talk about this.
There were 14 games, and you said y'all had 9 disagreements out of the 14 games. Interesting.
I get it. Look, the Eagles are a very good team.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a very commonality with me for the rest of the season. When AFC teams play NFC teams, I lean AFC.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Titans have been playing the Bengals and the Bills, and Philadelphia got, well, we played the Giants. That was or not the Giants, the Commanders, and we lost. And the Lions and the Jaguars, and well, that's just fun. Who exactly have you beaten that makes me think you're 4.5 points better than one of the best teams in the AFC?
Right.
The conference that is without a doubt better. It's not even close.
They're going Minnesota.
Yeah. I think that Minnesota narrative is going to be a little different on Monday when Mike White, future Hall of Famer and Super Bowl MVP, throws for about 4 bills. 4 bills and 3 touchdowns ago, the New York Jets smoked the Minnesota Vikings like a honey ham.
Would it be unheard of for the Philadelphia Eagles to come out and win this game in convincing fashion?
Nope.
No.
I struggle to believe it, though.
I do, too. It's a tough team. Tennessee's always well prepared.
This is also an A.J. Brown revenge game, and there is a whole lot more to that than people know.
Yeah.
That did not end hunky-dunky. I'll wager A.J. Brown's probably not on a lot of Christmas card lists in Nashville. Let's put it that way.
So they'll want to make they will want to make a statement against their former star.
I'm going to give Nick Sirianni a good piece of advice, just based off what I know. I wouldn't send A.J. Brown across the middle, because if you do, he may come back in pieces. Take that for what it's worth.
Baltimore Ravens hosting the Denver Broncos, one of the biggest spreads of the weekend. Baltimore's a 9.5-point favorite. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm going Denver. I'm going Denver plus the 9.5. It's too many points. Denver has a good defense, and Baltimore has been putrid on offense lately.
Do they have a good defense?
Yeah.
I rode that. I rode that train for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen an NFL team that has quit more than the Denver Broncos. And you're going to tell me I'm crazy for making a big deal out of this, but it is a big deal. Half of the Denver Broncos did not come to Russell Wilson's birthday party. And do you know how bad of a look that is?
That's because they weren't invited.
Oh, they were all invited.
No, it's an exclusive event. He's too big of a superstar. He didn't invite
tell
him.
Sierra that, because she disagrees with you. And look, when you get the kid,
I can't believe you're using the birthday party thing.
Why would I not? This is the quarterback of your franchise, and half of them were invited and did not show up to his birthday party. And what that should tell you is that they are annoyed with the let's ride. And the fact that Mike Purcell was ready to get into a fight with him on the sideline. Oh, and the fact that there are prison terms that are easier to get out of than this Russell Wilson contract. They are going to get dusted. I mean 41-0 level dusted.
Really?
This is one of those. This is set up so beautifully for me that public narrative on Baltimore is, well, the offense is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. You know what it takes to beat the Baltimore Ravens? Cohesion. I don't think there's any of that with any two players in the entire building. I wouldn't be shocked if none of these guys hung out by choice. And that sounds like it's a reach too far. You watch what Lamar Jackson does to a defense that doesn't communicate. There's plenty of talent.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the problem. The talents with Patrick Surtain. I don't care who you cover. Go cover Mark Andrews. That is a 7-fa, and you will 10-fo. Because he is way bigger than you and way more physical than you. B, okay, you shut down Mark Andrews. Is he going to stop Lamar Jackson? Because Lamar strikes me as he's about one bad quarter away from going, I got this. And having one of those Justin Fields quarters where he rushes, or Jalen Hurts quarters where he rushes for $102.
Mm-hmm.
I don't often predict scores. This is going to be a whole lot to very little.
Okay, I do not see that happening. I see the Broncos still play tough defense. I get that they're not all excited about Russell Wilson, but I can fully see this being a 17-13 game.
I can't. I can't. To be honest with you, I can't figure out how Denver's going to score. We've had trouble in the back end.
Not even get lucky. Not even get lucky against one of the worst secondaries in the league.
Nope. Oh, fun story. How many teams are there in the NFL?
32.
32. In QBR, where did Russell Wilson rank last week?
32.
33. Because the Green Bay Packers had two.
Oh, two quarterbacks that qualified.
There you go.
Nice.
Jordan this is historic level of bad.
Mm-hmm.
Historic, otherworldly, god-awful offense.
All right. Well,
now, if it was where I had set the line, I was at 13.5, knowing full well everything you said.
Mm-hmm.
At that, I would have struggled. At 9.5, no. Not with a team that I most recently saw struggle with the Carolina Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
They have a great defense. They have 23 points to the Carolina Panthers, who I'm pretty sure if I called and just asked really nicely, they'd let me play quarterback. So I'm good. This ride is broken.
The ride is broken. Okay. Where does Asheville Police Chief Zack come down on this game?
He is riding with the mullet and the Baltimore Ravens.
All right. Y'all are on the Baltimore Ravens minus the 9.5. I'm taking the Denver Broncos plus the 9.5. I don't think there's a shot that they win this game, but I do like them to keep it close.
I think there's a better shot the officials win this game than the Denver Broncos. You know who the real losers of this are? Anyone who watches it.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Huge, biggest narrative game of the century. Talk about it up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Looking at stop traffic now in Waynesville on 40 westbound between 209 and 276. Also a lot of slow traffic with congestion in Asheville now on 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Haywood Street. More volume continues now on 26 westbound, seeing a lot of brake lights between New Airport Road and 191 through Henderson. I'm Tom Miter with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer. When temperatures drop, COVID-19 cases may rise. So if you test positive and are at high risk, act fast. Even if your symptoms feel mild, ask your provider if an authorized oral treatment could be right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The station you love? It's on the free iHeartRadio app. The artists you love? They're on the free iHeartRadio app too. The podcasts everyone's talking about? You guessed it, they're all here. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio. Dancing crew, trip for two. Nailed the final interview. Game with Doug. Brand new mug. Come here, kid. Give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. New COVID-19 boosters designed for recent Omicron variants are now available, Learn about eligibility and schedule a free updated booster today at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and
PhD Weight Loss has helped me lose over 90 pounds since last Thanksgiving. It's been almost a year since Jeremy and I walked into PhD Weight Loss in South Asheville and met with Dr. Ashley Lucas. And honestly, we thought she was crazy when she told us how much weight we could lose. I didn't think it was possible. But lo and behold, PhD has changed my life in the last year.
In spite of my love of butter and mayonnaise, I was never that big. I was just a little chunky. You don't have to be grossly overweight. I had some bad food habits. Fast food was easier, and that's what I ate. After just under a year on this program, I'm back to my high school weight, and it's all thanks to the planning program of PhD Weight Loss.
Greatest thing about it is it's easy. They give you 80% of the food that you need to have success on the program, and then all you got to do is add your salads in. It's nothing big, but you know what is big? The results that you will see from PhD Weight Loss. Go to myphdweightloss.com today. Trust me, it can change your life too.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at Asheville outlets as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations. Donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville outlets so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
You know. Should be old hat at this point. Tank wins beat the Chief once again. Week 13. I mean, you guys will try hard. That's all we can say. Welcome back into the program and playing Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief David Zack, or without Asheville Police Chief David Zack, who again laid up with a bad back today, couldn't make it in with us, but we have his picks as well. And Beat the Chief always brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Huge narrative game this week. Deshaun Watson returns from the suspension to face his former team, the Houston Texans, in Houston. It's going to be a circus off the field, and on the field, I think it's going to be a bloodletting.
I'm not as sure of that. We're on the Browns across the board.
Yes.
So there is no disagreement on this game. However, I do feel like we're kind of overlooking the fact that this is a quarterback that hadn't played in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Houston Texans are god-awful. And they're not even it's not even like they try hard. Dameon Pierce is the only offensive weapon you have. This is a bad rush defense. If he does not touch the ball 25 times in this game, you did it wrong.
Agreed.
And he won't. And I'll guarantee you he won't.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think he's as dead fantasy football-wise as a lot of other people do. Might be a little low-key play. Just, I've seen me do crazier.
A little sneaky play. The fact that this was the wildest stat I saw. So in the last 3 games, Dameon Pierce averages 1 foot before contact.
Yes.
1 foot! Not a yard, a foot.
Yeah, this team's terrible. But the Cleveland Browns are terrible against the run. So that's your path to righteousness. And I don't believe in Lovie Smith.
Yeah.
I think this game is going to be odd. The crowd is going to be odd.
Mm-hmm.
My fear, and I thought this when this game was scheduled this week, is that the Texans are so bad that it could be very quiet. And that could lead to some very uncomfortable moments in this stadium.
Yeah, I don't believe it's going to be quiet at all.
No. I mean, there's not enough people here.
Oh,
This is one of those games where you could look at where they do the pull-away shot, and you go, well, they said the attendance was 57,000. It looks like there's 57 people in the stadium. I won't be shocked if it's in that vein.
Yeah. It's going to be loud. It's going to be a lot of vitriol. It's going to be probably nasty at times, and the TV broadcast is going to have its hands full with what to show and what not to show. This might be one of those cases where you just don't see crowd shots.
It's entirely possible.
But I do look for Deshaun Watson to come back and have a hell of a start to his return. He's been with the team for several weeks now, practicing. So I'm not worried about game plan and all of that. It's getting back in game speed. I know that's going to be tough from 2 years off, but I feel like there's also that itch.
And this is your first shot at live rounds with people that know you really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I considered taking Houston. I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And I could not find a way that they're. The way this strikes me is that it'll be the grossest game of the week. Not close. And it ends somewhere in the ballpark of 20-10.
Okay.
I do not see the bloodletting that you do. 80% of the Vegas money's on the over, and I cannot physically figure out how that's going to happen. At 46.5. No Brandon Cooks. You're starting Kyle Allen. Gross. I'm taking the Browns, but I don't feel great about it.
We're all on the Browns minus the 7 on the road at the Houston Texans, so that means Houston will win the game.
Most likely.
Seattle and L.A. That's the first 4 o'clock slate game this week. Seattle at L.A., and Seattle's a 7-point favorite. Sean McVay is not committing to Stafford's going to play this week. And
He's not going to play.
I don't feel like he will either.
No, it's already been declared. He's not going to play. It's going to be, I can't remember if it's Perkins or Walford. Stafford's not playing.
Oh, okay. The latest headline I saw about 10 minutes ago was that Sean
he's
McVay
not
was
playing. His wife basically confirmed that. And he said in a press conference 2 days ago, I think you can infer what that means. He's still in the concussion protocol. So it won't be Matthew Stafford. Which to me means this line is really stupid.
No Aaron Donald either.
No, I feel like Kenny Walker's going to get whatever he wants. I feel like Geno Smith will have a nice, efficient day. And now you want to talk about a bloodletting? This could be a bloodletting.
Could be.
This could be one of those times that Seattle goes, you were the big bad wolf in this division for a few years, and now we're going to go into your house and beat you like a kettle drum. A lot of smart money on the Rams, and I don't get it at all.
I don't either. Are we a full sweep on Seattle minus the 7?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Miami and San Francisco. One of the games that should have been flexed to the primetime slate. San Francisco's at home. They're a 4-point favorite. Where do you lean?
I'm actually going to let you go first, and you'll see why.
Okay. All right. Oh, I'm on the Miami Dolphins.
So is Asheville Police Chief David Zack.
Plus the 4. Here's my thing with San Francisco. Is the defense good?
Yes.
Yes. Is the defense really good?
Yes.
Yes. The problem is the offense, I don't feel like is there. Whatever step they need to take to be a complete team, I don't see it week in and week out. I feel like Miami's still going to be able to score points, and this is going to be a game closer than San Francisco wants it to be. Does San Francisco win? Yes, but I don't think they're going to win by more than a field goal. 4 points was just too much for me.
It's not for me. It's not for me, and I don't like the way this sets up for the Dolphins at all. You're on the road in a 4 o'clock slate without your left tackle. And there are some terrifying human beings on that San Francisco sideline.
Yes, there are.
This could be the game where you go, oh, yeah, Tua's – I mean, he's fine. He's not an MVP level quarterback. He's not. There's nothing that has suggested that he is. He has really good receivers. And if he can stay on pace, deliver the ball, he's fine. What happens when Mr. Bosa visits Tua's neighborhood, because I could see it happening a billion D times. You remember how bad this line was last year?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot of those same elements in this game. I love San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Underrated part of this, no Elijah Mitchell. Look, it's never a benefit to not have a good playmaker like him. I do think that's going to increase the touches for Deebo Samuel. Deebo and Christian McCaffrey have not worked well together. I think you see some wrinkles here. These are two staffs that know each other really well.
Mm-hmm.
They both know these defenses really well. And I just look at student, no, you got stuff. He's still the teacher.
Right. So Kyle Shanahan out to prove a point against Mike McDaniel this
I don't
weekend.
think he's going to blow him out.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's going to be very obvious who the better coached team is.
Okay.
Because this is going to be punch, counter punch.
Yes.
I know what Kyle Shanahan's going to do. I've seen him do it for years. I haven't seen Mike McDaniels get punched in the mouth that many times. And I'm afraid that you've seen them do a lot of their work against mediocre to bad defenses. Well, this is the best defense in the NFL, according to not every metric, but many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name me a defense that the Dolphins have played against that's even in the top half of the NFL? The Buffalo Bills. You mean where they had 265 yards? I don't think San Francisco's turning the ball over 5 times.
Maybe not. Maybe not, but I'm taking Miami plus the 4. So is Asheville Police Chief David Zack and Jeremy on the San Francisco 49ers to cover the 4 at home. It's going to be one of the best matchups of the weekend. Like we said, there are several of those on the slate this week. We've already talked about 3 of them. One of them coming up after the break right here on ESPN Asheville and after the most important message of the day, Jeremy Greene. Which is always...
Don't do crimes!
Don't do it. Never a good idea. Fueling this segment for years and years.
Stupid criminals.
Stupid criminals. Stupid criminals. And I got a story from Georgia that, well, there's a criminal who did stupid things. So, Christopher Spaulding is the guy's name. He lives in Rockdale, Georgia.
Do they call him Captain Spaulding?
They do. Maybe. They might call him Captain Spaulding. The Rockdale County Sheriff's Office does this thing where every month they will put out their most wanted in the county. And they'll post it on their Facebook page with the mug shots and all of the things that the guys are charged with or gals or whoever. These are the most wanted in the county. Well, Christopher Spaulding, apparently quite the career criminal himself, he got upset when he saw the Facebook post and he wasn't on the list. So he commented on the page that said, "What about me?" To which the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office quickly responded, "Oh, you're right. You have 2 outstanding warrants. We are on the way." That was their quote on the Facebook page. And now he's in jail because they tracked him down and went, okay, so you got 2 warrants out for failure to appear. They said typically when we're talking about the most wanted in the county, we're talking about violent crimes, murders and robberies and things like that. But yes, we will step out on that ledge and go after anybody, especially after you bring attention to yourself. What kind of dummy?
Takes a special kind.
Yeah, goes on the county sheriff's office page and says, "Oh, what about me? I should be on your most wanted list." Okay, you are. Congratulations.
My story is from Berlin. It's from a hospital. There was a 72-year-old woman sharing a room with a 79-year-old woman. Well, the 72-year-old, and neither of these are named in the story, is now behind bars. What did she do, you ask? She allegedly switched off her roommate's ventilator twice because she was annoyed by the sound it made.
Oh, well.
The woman was jailed on suspicion of attempted manslaughter following the incident at a hospital in the southwestern city of Mannheim. Police and prosecutors said in a statement that the suspect allegedly switched off the other woman's ventilator And she was told, don't do that because it is vital for the patient. And then she did it again.
Oh.
Patient had to be revived, and while her life is not in danger, she still requires intensive care. You're in a hospital. Don't cut off the machine keeping your roommate alive.
I was going to say, I mean, I don't know what all those things do, and it's a machine that's making a lot of noise. It's not hooked to me, so we don't need that, do we?
I'm dumbfounded.
It's ridiculous. So many self-centered people in this world.
I need my sleep. Her machine is keeping me awake. It's keeping her awake, too.
Right.
Like permanently.
Like permanently. Good night. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll continue to pick the NFL games by the spread up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, it's been a cool start to December here all across the South. That big front that marched across earlier this week has pushed all the way out into the Atlantic and well away from us. Our low tonight, upper 20s with elevation, 30 degrees in the valley, 53 on Friday. Some light showers top of the weekend. Saturday, just a tenth to a quarter of an inch of rain Saturday, high 59 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
A lot of slowdown this afternoon in Waynesville. Stop-and-go traffic on 40 westbound between 209 and 276. Then more brake lights in Henderson now on 26 westbound between New Airport Road and 191. Definitely seeing a lot of congestion here. And road work slowing us up on 40 in both directions between 25 and Dunsmore Avenue. I'm Tom Miter with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Friday Health Plans. Friday Health Plans is designed for people who buy their own health insurance, with benefits like unlimited $0 primary care and mental health visits. Get a quote at FridayHealthPlans.com and see if you qualify for $10 insurance. All plans issued by Friday Health Plans of North Carolina, Inc.
Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
Your passion is NFL football. Your access is total. Every weekday, NFL Total Access hits you with uncut. He can't be stopped. Uncensored. I love that. And unapologetic takes on all things NFL. That's how crazy it is. We go beyond what happened to tell you how it happened and what happens now. Those are the facts. On the field, inside the huddle, and under the helmet. This is NFL Total Access, the podcast. Listen weekdays on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Back here in the Ingles Studio playing Beat the Chief without Asheville Police Chief Zack. T's and P's for the crippled one at the moment. It's just a temporary thing. He'll be back on his feet in no time.
In a fight, I still take him.
Absolutely.
Even with the back pain.
100%. No question.
No doubt.
I wouldn't want to fight him anyway.
Nope.
Love the Chief. So great. So great to us, and it's always glad to have him in on a Football Friday, and hopefully he will be able to return with us next week. But we have his picks as well, as we're picking each and every NFL game against the spread, brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Check her out at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. The Kansas City Chiefs take on the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are a 2.5 dog in this one. And they're 6-0 since last season covering spreads as a dog. And I like that. I like that trend, and that's why I'm picking them plus the 2 against Kansas City.
This is about as dead heat of a game as you'll ever have. The over-under is 53. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're going over that.
Over, yeah.
There's not a lot of discrepancy between these two. For me, Cincinnati's at home, and I think their defense is a little bit better. I'm with you. I'm on the Cincinnati Bengals.
How does the Chief feel?
Now, the Chief, he's big on wordplay. The Chief is on the Chiefs.
He's on the Chiefs, minus the 2.
Look, this is going to be one of the best games of the year, I think.
I would agree. Last year, we had 2 great matchups with these teams, one in the regular season, one by Cincinnati. One in the postseason, one by Cincinnati. Does that play a little bit? Does that give me pause for concern? Absolutely. Because, I mean, here's a stat that I bet many people didn't know. Patrick Mahomes, you want to know how many teams in the league he's lost to 3 times since becoming the starter for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Is there one?
Would you like to hear it again?
That's what I thought.
Yeah. It's never happened. It's the longest in an NFL quarterback's career, going back to 1950, that the quarterback doesn't have 3 losses to a single opponent.
The injuries to the Bengals make me a little nervous as well, with no Chidobe. I just don't know that I care.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Awuzie is the number 1 corner on this team. Who would he even be on? Or is he just going to rotate?
Yeah, take your pick.
I just don't care that much. It would be one thing if this was Minnesota and there was definitively one receiver I had to stop.
They're going to be banged up, but will Jamar Chase be back?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it looks that way. It looks like Joe Mixon will be back too.
I was going to say, will Joe Mixon be back? I like the full complement of weapons. To me, it's not even close who has the better weapons. Quarterback's very, very close. Coach is not really a. Yeah,
we don't. If you're on the Bengals side, you don't really want to talk about that.
We don't want to talk about that. But Cincinnati plus the 2, I feel like, is the best bet here. And the Chief will be going for the Kansas City Chiefs to cover the 2 on the road. Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers.
It's a fun spread.
Yeah, the Raiders are a 1-point favorite at home against the Chargers.
Think about that.
It's terrible. It's terrible. But I get it. I get why you're doing it. I mean, Los Angeles is a team that week in and week out, you can throw a dart and just see, hey, what team are we getting this week?
And the Chargers are absolutely killed. No Mike Williams this week, which means it's Josh Palmer's season, baby! Where are you headed?
I got the Chargers. I got the Chargers plus the 1. I think they win the game outright. I don't have any faith in Las Vegas. I get that there have been a sign or two that things could turn around here, but I still think this is the listless team that nobody likes the coach, and you got a lot of questions with the weapons.
Well, Asheville Police Chief Zack is with you on the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to say, go Raiders, go! I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders.
Raiders to cover the 1, win the game outright. Is Josh Jacobs going to be able to have as big of a day or anywhere close to as big of a day as he had last week?
It's possible.
This is a team that's not good against the run.
That's a weird way to say awful.
Yeah. Despite the additions that they made in the offseason, this defense is still not good.
This strikes me as a game the Chargers lose. I thought that at the beginning of the week. 84% of the money is on the Raiders. And more of the tickets are on the Chargers than the Raiders. What does that tell me? Smart money is all over the Raiders. It has been. It's moved this line. I'm not going to lie. I got this at Raiders plus 3.5.
Good for you.
Because I bet early. I don't care. I think the Raiders are going to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be close. And I could easily see this being a shootout.
Right.
I have 2 legitimate weapons. I do not have any idea how you stop either one of them. Raiders.
Yep. I'm on the Chargers, so is Asheville Police Chief David Zack. Sunday Night Football this week. Flexed game of the week. The Dallas Cowboys at home against the Indianapolis Colts.
Who wants to see this?
No. I mean, Dallas Cowboys fans.
I do love that now the NFL just looks at primetime games and goes, you'll watch what we tell you to watch.
Pretty much.
Oh, you don't like it?
They know we're going to watch anyway.
Oh, you don't like that? Well, tough.
Dallas Cowboys in primetime makes a whole lot of sense, especially if you think, the NFL's rigged and they've got their finger on the scale for America's team. This is a game that I feel like Dallas will blow out Indianapolis. It's a 10.5-point spread, and I didn't even think about it for a second.
Didn't think about it for a second.
No.
Not 1 second.
No.
You just went, no.
Dallas minus 10.5 easy for me. I don't see how Indianapolis is going to stop them offensively, and I don't really see how they're going to do much offensively against that defense.
I'm not going to go as crazy as our buddy Pat McAfee did and tell you that the Colts are going to win this game. I, however, will tell you that Asheville Police Chief David Zack and I are on the Indianapolis Colts.
Too many points?
It's too many points. Look, I'm going to continue saying this. I don't think the Cowboys are that good.
Mm-hmm.
I never have. This has letdown game written all over it. This has undisciplined team that looks past the game all over it. Look, I think Dallas wins, but it's late. I can see this being a field goal game with, 2 or 3 minutes to go. The Cowboys go in and score a touchdown. They win this game by 10. If it was 10, I'd have had to have thought about it much harder.
Mm-hmm.
When we got to 10 in the hook, nope. Look, there's not many teams in the NFL I'm giving up double digits to.
Right.
I'm just not. And I look at how you attack the Dallas Cowboys and go, that's a lot of what the Colts do. I'm not saying they do it particularly well, but it's what they do. I'm taking the Colts. Okay. I bet Jeff Saturday calls timeouts this time.
Yeah, probably so. And then Monday Night Football this week, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, sound excited about it. Get excited. Let's go. The New Orleans Saints at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, Tampa's a 3.5-point favorite. It's too many points. I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm still taking Tampa. New Orleans is not good either.
No, they're not.
And I feel like they're gonna score just enough, win it by 4 or 5. It's gonna be gross. It's not gonna be fun. We're all gonna come in here on Tuesday and go, "Why did we even watch that?" But I'm taking Tampa reluctantly.
You sounded very Eeyore-ish there.
If my team was your team, you would sound Eeyore-ish as well.
Your team has been my team.
Unfortunately,
How does that feel?
you get the J-E-D.
How does that feel?
Yeah.
Did you ever think you'd be saying that this year? You
Not
with
this
Tom
year.
Brady saying, you get the Jets, and I have to pull for the lowly, pathetic, awful Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No.
Marshawn Lattimore playing in this game?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I like the Saints defense a lot. I like the Tampa Bay offense some. I don't like any other element of this game, and I don't like giving more than a field goal. New Orleans has had Tampa Bay's number for quite some time.
They have.
And I just feel like it's a bad matchup. Look, the Saints are not actively playing for much, but they are playing for Dennis Allen's job. I fully believe that. And at some point, you got to show a little gusto. I'm taking the Saints. I don't think they win. This is a field goal game to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's that hook that I just can't get past it.
Question is, can you dig up enough of that rivalry hate to make it count?
There are virtually no teams in the NFL that are worse at covering spreads than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they figured out anything. I really don't. The loss to the Browns, that was enough for me to just go, you lost the week before they get Deshaun Watson back.
Mm-hmm.
And Todd Bowles is a bad coach.
They are. They're awful offensively. Defensively, not great either. Like I said, reluctantly, I'll take Tampa Bay minus 3.5. Where's the Chief come down on this game?
He is with you on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right, we got a lot of disagreements this week, and hopefully you guys can make up a little ground on the season leader. You are in the Sportsocracy.
I mean, of all the games, we only had 3 universal agreements.
Yeah.
14 games, we only had 3 across the board.
Could be a lot of separation this week. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Beat the Chief, always brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com.
There's only a few more of these over the course of the year. And I got one more big dog for you. They've been great all year, and the big dog is ready to come off the porch.
Bangers are next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
A lot of slowdown still continues now in Henderson. We're seeing delays on 26 westbound in between New Airport Road and 191. Delays in Waynesville pretty heavy now on 40 westbound as we make our way from 209 over towards 276. We're also looking at some construction delay on 40 in both directions between 25 and Dunsmore Avenue. I'm Tom Miter with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Friday Health Plans. Friday Health Plans is designed for people who buy their own health insurance, with benefits like unlimited $0 primary care and mental health visits. Get a quote at FridayHealthPlans.com and see if you qualify for $10 insurance. All plans issued by Friday Health Plans of North Carolina, Inc.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
The Ingles Advantage isn't just about savings or the best quality food for your family. It's more than that. It's the advantage of being a part of a community. That's why we provide over 2 million pounds of food every year through regular donations and programs like the Ingles Giving Tree, Food for Thought, and the Ingles Fill a Backpack program. It's the right thing to do, and we know that you would do the same. Ingles, your neighbor for over 50 years.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Coffee's the closers on. Get them the money! Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the whip.
It's championship week in college football, which means bangers. Pac-12 championship, USC is a 3-point favorite against Utah. Utah feels like they've mailed it in, and USC feels like they have something to prove. That makes this pretty easy for me. Give me the Trojans, minus the 3. Tulane is a 3.5-point favorite against UCF in the American Athletic Championship. Tulane kept their coach. I was dead set he was going to Georgia Tech. He's not. They're motivated, and UCF is one of the most overrated teams in the country. Give me the Green Wave minus the 3.5. Tanks Georgia Bulldogs. Ugh. 17.5-point favorite. I hate laying numbers this big, so I'm doing them both together. Georgia's a 17.5-point favorite. Michigan's a 16.5-point favorite. They're going to eviscerate LSU and Purdue. Won't even be close. But, where are the dogs?
Underdog, 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 underdog.
Speed of lightning! Roar Thunder! The North Carolina Tar Heels are a 7.5-point dog against Clemson. DJ Uiagalelei can't play dead in the Western. I don't care what anybody says. I've said it all year. I've said it's going to burn you. It burned you against South Carolina, and it's burning you against Drake May this week. Give me the Tar Heels to win the ACC. Nice. And finally, the last big dog of the year, the Kansas State Wildcats. They're our last hope. They're a 2.5-point dog in the Big 12 title game against TCU. Chris Kleiman and the Cats, baby. They're taking out the Horny Toads or whatever they are. Give me Kansas State plus 2.5.
And you can take those wagers over to betus.com. Use the promo code SPORTSOCRACY. Get that 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put into your account, up to $2,500.
Invariably in this week, you catch something that catches you off guard.
Mm-hmm.
I can't figure it out with USC tonight. I certainly can't figure it out with Georgia and Michigan. I think Kansas State's better than TCU is, especially now. And I love Chris Kleiman. I say this a lot. I think he's one of the best coaches in college football. This is a chance for him on the grand scale, and that's a talented team.
Yeah.
The line should tell you everything you need to know. They're not even catching a field goal in a game TCU needs to go to the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm.
This screams letdown.
TCU's been flirting with disaster. Can they make another comeback if they get down to Kansas State? We'll just have to wait and see. Coming up tomorrow right here on ESPN Asheville, you will have UNC Tar Heels, Clemson Tigers, 8 o'clock kickoff live from Charlotte for the ACC championship game. Cannot wait. And I hope that it turns out the way you said, Jeremy, because I would love to see the Tar Heels be able to raise that trophy. But your defense is going to have to show up. And you're going to have to get after DJ Uiagalelei. Join us on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock on the YouTube channel for the Fantasy Game Time Decisions Show. We'll get you ready for the fantasy day. All of your start-sit questions will be answered. And, of course, you can join us at the Village Porch on Sunday afternoon at 51 North Merriman Avenue as we'll be hanging out watching the games. Invite you to come along with us. Have a great weekend.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, it's been a cool start to December here all across the South. That big front that marched across earlier this week has pushed all the way out into the Atlantic and well away from us. Our low tonight, upper 20s with elevation, 30 degrees in the valley, 53 on Friday. Some light showers top of the weekend. Saturday, just a tenth to a quarter of an inch of rain Saturday, high 59 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
A lot of slowdown still continues now in Henderson. We're seeing delays on 26 westbound in between New Airport Road and 191. Delays in Waynesville pretty heavy now on 40 westbound as we make our way from 209 over towards 276. We're also looking at some construction delay on 40 in both directions between 25 and Dunsmore Avenue. I'm Tom